I love double audio. Good morning. We got to yapping again. Yeah. It's kind of a staple at this point. Sorry, one second. I need to be a bit more vigilant about the stream because I feel like the last like 3 or 4 times, no, 2 or 3 times I streamed, we started off with a very bad connection. So yeah, hopefully, we're past that for today. Ugh. Oh, that's the wrong button. Hello, Nino. Ooh, my sound is very loud. Hello.
How are we today?
You know, well, based on the conversation we had before, despairing at people's media literacy just a little bit.
Hey, that's just Saturday night, baby.
Oh yeah, it sure is. It's fucking rough out here for. I feel mean sometimes saying for someone that can read, but sometimes it really it. Forget media literacy in general. In some instances, like
honestly, I feel like sometimes I wonder if a plurality of people don't experience most of their media through Wikipedia summaries and or recap videos on YouTube.
Because yeah.
A lot of people seem to know the sequence of events that happen in a thing, but not the substance of the plot, nor any of the actual character motivations or dialogue.
Yeah, I cut off our conversation before we got to that point, but that is the natural extension of where we were going, where it's like, hey, you know, people can't really engage with these, with a game, or games or media with ambiguous endings, and you know, there's an interesting thing there of the overlap between mediums that have more just in front of you. You have to do less interpretive work to like see, visualize, or hear what's going on, and the occurrence of that. Though I'm sure there are people that read books and do not get it either. Like that would not surprise me either. No medium is safe.
Yeah, I mean, just like. Yeah, just like there are people who only go to the theater to see Marvel movies and Mission Impossible films, there are also people who only go to the bookstore to pick up, you know, YA fantasy romance lit. Yeah. And like, not to disparage that genre, there are some very good books in that genre, but it's like going to an all-you-can-eat buffet and only eating chicken nuggets. It's like, I love chicken nuggets, but you know, you should try the tofu sometime too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's beautiful roast chicken there too. Like, you don't want to try that at all. Like, you know, or the other thing that I was actually like, I read very briefly in terms of genre, which was like YA, just out of high school spy thriller shit that like. I forget the author that's like that to me. But
James Patterson?
No, I feel like I'm getting the initials MR, and I want to say Matt Riley, but I don't think that's the name.
That doesn't ring a bell, unfortunately.
No, I have to look.
I just have a working, theory that much like R.L. Stine and K.A. Applegate, James Patterson's a pseudonym for a team of ghostwriters who couldn't get their own ideas published independently, so they're laundered through a big name, and that's why the tone, subject matter, quality, and demographics of his writing changes so wildly from book to book.
Right. Apparently there is a James Patterson Australian politician. Thank you, Google.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't say I know. I have to look it up, but like, yeah, like, there is schlock in all genres, but, like, yeah, the thing we didn't touch on was just, like, and The thing is, I realized, like, I had recommended a YouTuber in Luca's Discord that in style and structure isn't too dissimilar from plot summaries, but I honestly feel like they often take a moment in points of the story to be just like, hey, like, this made me feel this way, or like, we need to unpack this for a second before we move on, because there's like context here either outside of the media itself or something I'm not going to specifically touch on that is important for like the emotional through line here, which I want to talk about at the end. I think there's distinction enough there, personally, but like at the same time, it did make me kind of go, oh shit. That, like, stylistically, I can see some... Or, funnily enough, stylistically, I could see someone just pass that off as a plot summary. Whereas I feel like they often go a little bit more into that, and sometimes they make a whole ass video afterward going, okay, so I established the plot, I need to shout at this plot for, like, 30 minutes, because what the fuck?
Yeah.
But...
I think one of the more popular YouTubers who does that kind of format is iPatchWolf, where oftentimes he will make, like, 90-minute long videos where an hour of that 90 minutes is just recapping something, and then the last 30 minutes is just explaining why it makes him insane.
Or like, interweaving that into bits where it's relevant. Like, his Riverdale video, for example, is just like... Yeah, let's take it aside before we get to Season 3 to talk about, like, wow, that was fucking wild, wasn't it? Anyway, I'm sure that's not going to get worse in this next season, and then it cuts to...
I still can't believe that his Berserk and Chainsaw Man videos both open with massive plot spoilers, like, with very little warning. And then immediately are followed with a reassurance of, oh, if you think I've spoiled this, don't worry, there's still plenty more. It's like, okay, but you did spoil something really big, though.
yeah, and like, I think it works in the Riverdale example because, like, what fucking... The plot is so incoherent that, like, I don't think it could be considered spoilers in so much as, like...
Certainly not, but spoiling the second major story arc of Berserk is like, even if you say, you know, oh, don't worry, there's great stuff after this, it's like, okay, but this is the turning point of the series. Like, this is the point where it becomes a different series, and I feel like if that's experienced organically, it'll be a lot better.
Yeah, like, it'd be like fronting a video about Inscription with the point in time where that thing happens. And I'm pretty sure I could be talking about multiple points in that game with that reference, so, like...
Yeah, I imagine it's possible we're thinking about different moments in that game.
I know there's at least 2 that I can think of.
Yeah.
But yeah. Fun stuff. Anyway.
Time for videos game. You ready? You ready to press some testimony?
I sure am. That was the wrong button.
Some testimony.
Oh, actually, maybe I can load the game from here. Hold on. Yes, I definitely am. And, like, one like, last thought before we move off of what we were talking about. I do also think, like, funnily enough, games like Ace Attorney and Danganronpa, which we also touched on, like, can accidentally breed an audience that is far too interested in the literal things that happened, because that is kind of the core that you're engaging with gameplay-wise. There's a bit more of a risk of, like, people getting stuck in that and asking questions about, like, you know, what happened after the end of Danganronpa 1, which I roll my eyes to, because I'm like, does it matter? Like, we had the emotional through line, like... But
I think kind of like some of the problem with like puzzle or like mystery games is that they do have the tendency to attract logic lords by design.
Yeah,
and
precisely.
Logic lords, you know, TM, are not the type of people who enjoy ambiguity in storytelling, because they see every part of the narrative as a puzzle to be solved and you know, art to be reflected upon.
Yeah, and they can also, like, actually, like, produce those people too by focusing so much on that, and maybe, like, Well, yeah, like, just that being the core gameplay loop is often enough for people who aren't as cognizant about, like, how the game might be kind of bending your thought process and that to thinking, oh, I obviously should be engaging the game as a puzzle, so I will treat all the emotional through line and storyline as a puzzle as well. And it's like,
Yeah, put a pin in that. We'll come back to that later this stream.
oh no. Oh no. Hi Luca, how's it going?
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, so the seance went nowhere.
I don't mean that in the negative. I don't mean that in the negative sense. Just like there is something in this case that I have seen people criticize for quote-unquote logic lord reasons, whereas I think like it is 1000% in line with how the character would have acted.
Yeah, sorry. I don't say oh no as in like a negative. I mean like oh no, did I did I bring up relevant topic before it happened? So yeah, the seance failed, and I wanna put throw a dart real quick and be like, that's because we don't know Perez-a-Lot's actual real name, and that's probably gonna be important considering like the covered up tattoo and shit like that.
See, the funniest thing is we're not even supposed to. It's not even clear in the universe if Perez-a-Lot is supposed to be an incredibly obvious fake name or if that's just his name.
Yeah, because yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh fuck, I forgot his name.
Trust in me.
No. Oh my god, I'm a Rabal.
Oh, yeah, that's a Rabal.
That's a Rabal. That's it. Fucking. Okay, no worries, Luca. I appreciate the effort.
Enjoy your podcast.
Yeah, enjoy your podcast. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's Arabal. That's his real name. Perez-a-Lot, fake name. Like, what? What chance do I have? like, don't get me wrong. What, I'm the killer, or whatever the fuck?
Shelly the killer.
Shelly the killer, like, being the, like, assassin. Like, we're far removed from that, but at the same time, like, the puns are working against me. Alright. Latest victim was Perez-a-Lot, and yeah, we're in the first bit of testimony. I've been training under the High Priest and living in his house for the past 2 years. The High Priest... widow, believe in me, has identified the victim's body. He may have been mistaken for a rebel and killed due to his connection to the High Priest. Oh, okay. Maya isn't the Lady Kira who's been going around capturing rebels.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright, but...
Objection!
Is too, bitch. That verdict was already handed down in the previous trial. Hold on. No, it wasn't. We established that she killed the High Priest, not that she was... Well,
the thing about the wacky, wet, and wild rules of the Ace Attorney universe is they can just, like, add additional charges mid-trial. So
or,
you weren't
like,
just disputing she was the killer of Trust in Me. You were disputing, well, obviously Lady Kira killed Trust in Me, so if she's guilty of killing Trust in Me, then she's also Lady Kira, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, we established that fact, and now here's a bunch of logical steps I will take that will not be disputed by the defense attorney because the verdict has already been handed down. Like, what?
They call it the ipso... They call it the ipso facto rule.
Oh, fucking hell. It is no longer a point of dispute, and I will not allow you to make it so. But no ifs, ands, and most of all, no buts. The accused was posing as Lady Kira, and she killed Acolyte Zalot because she mistakenly believed him to be a rebel. Oh, mistakenly, huh? That's not true!
Sorry. The verdict has already been read in that case. I have to assume it's fact now.
Maya, you mentioned that Emma's testimony might hold a clue as to why the seance failed. I did, but it's really just a hunch. I mean, there was a mistake made during the investigation. It would have to be information that would impact the seance. What could it be? Oh. Oh, yeah. No, of course. What kind of person was Acolyte Zalot?
According to the neighbors and others who knew him, he was a deeply devout youth.
I too have heard his name mentioned as one who was a fervent practitioner. I suppose you might say he was the priest's star disciple.
Furthermore,
he'd been training under the High Priest and living in his house for the past 2 years. 2 years? Are you sure about that?
he took statements from his neighbors and his fellow monks. They all corroborate our initial findings.
What about you, Maya? Well, when I first came here, I saw Zalot praying under the High Priest's instruction. I see. So the results of the police investigation seem to check out. High Priest Widow Believe in Me has identified the victim's body. Was Miss Inme's positive ID the only way you verified the identity of the victim?
Huh? Oh, well, no. We also checked the ID card he carried and the data in his family registry.
Uh-huh.
But
what?
his personal information didn't match any of the public records we cross-referenced.
Maybe that's why the divination seance failed?
I'm not sure what you mean, Mr. Wright.
Here's what I'm thinking. Praise a lot is a fake name. His address was wrong.
Boom!
Oh,
bullseye.
Yeah. His address was wrong. Oh, shit. Wait, I'm mixing up metaphors. Damn that Rafer. The victim decided to hide his identity for some reason. In other words, he was using a fake name. The royal priestess uses a deceased's face and true name to summon their spirit.
Why, yes. That is indeed true.
If he was using a forged ID and there is no mention of him in our public records, then he was likely an illegal immigrant. They are not uncommon here in Kurain. An illegal immigrant? Come to think of it, Rafer mentioned something about immigrants yesterday.
But if that's the case, then we have no way of knowing who he really is.
Do we, though?
We'll have to proceed without holding a divination seance this time.
Isn't that convenient?
I'd always thought that Acolyte Zalot was Kurainese. It was sure Kurainese passing, at least.
Oh, God.
Oh, how the High Priest must be lamenting his disciples' deception in the Twilight Realm. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think? Should we add this to the testimony?
Absolutely. This is an important fact. Please add it to the testimony.
It would seem to be a fact most inconvenient for the defense. But if you insist, Detective Sky, please add what you just said to your testimony. Yep, Your Majesty.
Maya back, yeah. We no longer need the transparent PNG. So we don't know his
She
real name.
is returned.
Hold it!
Isn't there some way to track down his real name?
No, not if he was an illegal immigrant.
Have you actually confirmed that he was in Kurain illegally?
Well, we don't have any conclusive evidence. But there's also no evidence of him being a citizen of Kurain either.
Oh boy. Now what do we do? What if there was a clue in the evidence you gathered? It's probably our only hope at this point. If he really was an illegal immigrant, our proverbial goose is probably cooked. But he has the tattoo. So I guess... there. Yeah.
Objection!
Sorry, Detective Sky. But the police missed something important in their investigation.
Huh? What are you talking about?
The victim was undeniably a Kurainese native. And this crime scene photo proves it.
It does?
It's a little hard to see, but look closely. You'll see clear proof that the victim was Kurainese.
Where? I don't see anything that would prove that.
This proves the victim was Kurainese. Tattoo!
Take that!
And it sure is interesting how differently the assumption of a murder being an illegal immigrant hits now. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little uncomfortable even saying that phrase so much, because, like...
Yeah.
I mean, even when this game would have been written, I feel like that was still a bit on the nose, but, like, at this point, like...
Yeah.
Look at this tattoo right here.
Why, that's a tattoo of a peach?
I would like you all to think about the meaning of this tattoo.
Oh, the victim really liked peaches? Well, peaches are a favorite delicacy here in Kurain.
Thank you, Luca. They happen to be a personal favorite of mine. The sweetness of their abundant nectars and the softness of their perfectly ripe flesh. They are a blessing from the Holy Mother herself. Nick, I've suddenly got a craving for peaches. After the trial, Maya. Right now we have a bigger fish to fry. Fucking gremlin, just like, I'm hungry now. I've been in jail for days.
Why didn't you have to go to jail? It's not fair.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is not a tattoo of a peach. It is not a peach, you say? Then what is it? Take a closer look. Haven't you seen something like that before? Namely, the tattoo on the High Priest's brow.
Oh my. What?
This mark is only borne by members of the Kurainist clergy.
Objection!
So that is what you believe it to be. But are they not utterly different shapes? Sure, they're shaped differently, but there's a reason for that. The victim had the peach-shaped tattoo inked over an existing tattoo for some reason. However, the dark red portion is exactly the same as the mark all Kurainist clergy bear.
Hey, you're right. Until about 20-some-odd years ago, everyone did get one, didn't they? I myself bear one on my right butt.
That is entirely too much information, Your Majesty. Thank you, Sadmati. Prosecutor Sadmati, don't you have one as a trap stat? Enough, Your Honor. Your Majesty. Information on...
Stop talking. Be quiet for several days.
Yes. I think it's time to stop talking now. but we're in the middle of the trial. Information on everyone who enters the clergy is maintained at the temple. All we have to do is look up a monk with a mark in the same spot.
I'm on it. I'll let you know if I get any hits.
That will not be necessary. If you seek information on the clergy, I have the full list right. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck off. Prosecutor Sadmadi, why does Apollo call you Peach Bitch? I have it all right here.
Oh my, you never cease to amaze. So, tell us, is there anyone who fits the bill? Brace yourself. You fucking ready?
Okay, alright, hold on. The train is coming. I just... Who could that possibly be? I don't know, is it that Sarabal's brother or something? Oh fuck, if he has a second name and it's... Oh god. No, stop laughing, Mr. Wright. I swear that's actually his name. There is just one, and his name is Real Nemu. He became a monk 20 years ago. Alright. Everyone must be named a pun, I'm sorry. Then what is the pun in your name, Prosecutor Sadmadi?
Well, I'm not known for being happy now, am I?
Then that must be the victim's real name. No. Real Nemu.
But why would he have tried to cover up his tattoo with another one?
Yeah, there must have been some reason. Nick, it's not important right now. The important thing is we know his real name. You're right. Your Majesty, now that we know the victim's real name, the divination seance might finally work.
A lawyer who willingly seeks a seance. This is entirely unprecedented.
Now that I think about it, why did he get that tattooed over? Because he's still acting as a monk, so he wouldn't need to cover it up for that reason.
Pretty suspicion, huh?
Oh my, is he a fucking double agent? Like he's covered up the tattoo and he's working for the rebels, but then he's actually, or maybe he is just a rebel and he chose to cover it up. I don't know. Yeah. You are but digging your own grave, Defense. We won't know until we try. Bitch, you haven't even seen the seance. Sure, it's risky, but it's our only hope. It's our only hope.
Very well, let the divination seance be held once more.
That was my phone. I thought I heard that earlier, and I think my headphones basically muffled it, so I was like, oh, I must be hearing things.
Why would a lawyer work so hard to see the divination seance be held once more? You are a fool, Barbed Head, and your foolishness shall yield no gratitude from me. For with the truth revealed by my insights, I shall gladly seek your demise.
Bring it on, princess. Because I will correctly interpret each and every one of your insights.
You will regret ever thinking you could use my sacred insight as evidence.
Peaches for free, Luca?
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name.
Millions of peaches.
Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Okay, I think we're gonna skip this. This is gonna be no
different.
different.
We've already seen it once.
Yeah. Alright. Punisher theme. Heavy. Pain. Who's Gingley?
You might have some evidence that relates to that. Oh my. It is just as Mr. Wright surmised. Pervazelot wasn't the victim's real name. And now at last we have seen the victim's final moments.
But all we could see was the ground. Oh, Phoenix. You seem terribly disappointed. I take it you did not find any fodder for one of your your infamous turnabouts. Dare use that word at me, you piece of shit. I, on the other hand, have discovered something. Conclusive evidence that establishes the accused's guilt. You did?
Ha 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 ha. A most surprising surprise attack. So tell us, Prosecutor Sadmati, what is this conclusive evidence you have found?
The Plumed Punisher theme song that the deceased heard. Please consider this item here. It was confiscated from the accused during her interrogation. Hey, that's my Plumed Punisher strap! I don't know if you were here, Luca, but, I am beside myself that they call it that.
Her strap.
Yeah, not a strap. Pulling it out in court? Damn. What are you doing, Sudbury? When you press the Magatama on the Plumed Punisher's belt... Thought only Francisca could do that. True! Ah! It seems the accused inadvertently pressed the button in the midst of her crime. This strap is an extremely rare item, is it not, Miss Faye? You better not break it. There's only one of those in the whole wide world. Fucking course there is. Maya, no! But I love how they're treating it as like, yes, this is the only item in the world that ever plays the Plumed Punisher theme song. Therefore, like, what the fuck are we talking about?
It is just as I said. Your flights of fancy have come crashing down upon you.
She sure seems to be enjoying this. Yeah, I've never seen her look so thrilled before either.
It is time to accept the fact that the divination seance is far more than mere evidence. It is the very truth that brings the hammer of justice down upon the accused. The hammer of justice.
Hammer of justice? Do you hear it?
Don't play the clip and look at this copyright struck.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Actually, Toby wouldn't do that. If
Toby
gave a shit about copyright striking videos that use Undertale Deltarune music, then I think about 90% of all video essays on YouTube would be struck because they use the dating start theme.
Yeah. Well, and Toby doesn't. Fortunately, that doesn't mean other people wouldn't.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah.
I love how functional copyright claims are.
Yep.
That is as conclusive as evidence can get. Now then, if there are no further objections...
I have about 3.
Objection!
Thank you, Phoenix. Slow down there, your majesty. At least let me make a counter-argument.
What's this? Do you take issue with the divination seance?
Oh, I have issues with it. I just don't know what they are yet. But that's never stopped me before. Never change, Phoenix. The divination seance is not the absolute truth. It only becomes the truth after it's been interpreted correctly.
Huh. You do not know when you are beaten, do you, you foolish lawyer? I am the only one who speaks for the Mitama of the deceased. If you believe there are there to be errors in my insights, then let us see you prove it.
Alrighty. Rafer's insight.
The victim was offering up his prayers. It was the night of the rite. Though it's dark, the pattern on the plaza's ground was visible. Then someone was there, and the theme to the plumed Punisher filled the air. The accused held the defenseless victim down and plunged her knife into his neck. The blade struck true, and in that instant he departed from this world. That is everything the deceased experienced in his final moments.
Her benevolence's insights have painted a detailed picture, both vivid and true. Didn't notice any holes there. As they stand now, those insights are really stacked against us. I'll just have to go over each and every one of the deceased's sensations very carefully. Gingihl. Sorry, hold on. I need to... I don't know what the fuck that means. Is it like a smell? Should I know what that word is referring to?
You have seen it brought up before, and I will just save you the effort. There is a piece of evidence that has that word in the description.
Okay. Spinal cord injury, being stabbed in the face. Brand new flag. I must be blind. Or can't read, which is very funny given how we started this stream off. When you say description, you mean the thing that, like, it shows up here, right?
No, just like when you open the item, sorry.
Oh, okay. Fucking Animal Crossing Maya showing you the bug she caught. Oh, here we go. The family photo was taken during the Feast of Blessings, where it's customary to partake in dishes with gingil. So he could smell... Oh, yeah, isn't the whole thing that is particularly pungent?
Yeah, so they're only allowed to use it during ritual preparation, essentially.
I see. Okay. It's the night on the right, though it's dark, the pattern of the plaza's ground was visible. Hey, I don't think that's actually what that is, though. Oh, fuck. So, like, my instinct here... Well, yeah, my first thing is like, okay, I want to establish... Well, I think you can establish pretty quickly, like, we got a piece of evidence that shows their fucking handprints on the thing, like, it's just fucking right there.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if... Because I think I'm on the right statement, but I don't remember if... Yeah, okay, so we're not at the point that we're presenting evidence, so I can't do that yet. Victim was offering up his prayers. It was the night of the right, though it's dark, the pattern on the plaza's ground was visible. Then someone was there, and the theme to the plume punisher filled the air. The accused held the defenseless victim down and plunged her knife into his neck. The blade struck true, and in that instant he departed from this world. I don't even think it's, like, dark, which I don't know if that's much of a contradiction. Oh, whoops. Theme, heavy pain. Like, maybe this is enough? Like, why would he be smelling this if he was in the position he was during his prayers?
That
seems a bit of a stretch,
I think you were on the
though.
right track before.
Like, trying to establish the place he actually was?
Yeah, I think so, anyway.
I guess I'm just not really sure. Because, like, this is, like, the... what I want to try and do...
Maybe there's... Yeah, I think maybe this is what you have to do first, then. Because, yeah, you're right. It would be kind of jumping from point A to point C. So what we have to do first is establish that, you know, this is something that could not be at the plaza, right?
Right.
Objection!
I think, anyway. Sorry, it's... Some of my stuff about the insides is a little bit fuzzy just because they're so esoteric.
Mm-hmm. Isn't the statement inconsistent with the vision? I don't know. I think that stands out. Like, why is he smelling that in the... Exactly. That's where the inconsistent...
What statement were you on?
I was on, he was, it's the first statement.
Okay, maybe let's try the second, because the second said that he was on the ground in the plaza, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I suppose that makes a bit more sense.
Objection!
Yeah. It's not really that he smelt it at all, it's the place where he... Yeah, okay. Was it really the... Well, actually, yeah, this is the more... no, yeah, sorry, this is actually the thing. The timing is the problem. Was it really the night of the right?
What do you mean? It could not be otherwise. The accused slew Acolyte Zalot after killing the High Priest during the purification rite.
The only problem is, the deceased spirit does not corroborate that.
What's this?
Take a good look at what the victim smelled. Do you see how it says Gingil? Acolyte Zalot shouldn't have smelled any Gingil on the night of the rite.
What do you mean?
Let me back up my statement with some evidence for you. This should explain how the victim couldn't have smelled Gingil on the night of the rite. Fuck you, Phoenix. What are you doing to me, man? I feel like this was a conversation that never really... Fuck. Stop that. I mean, I guess?
Take that!
I want to point out that doesn't say that doesn't point out the restriction of it, by the way, which is actually the important piece of information there, or rather the cultural tendency to not use it other than for this purpose. It just says it is used for this purpose, which isn't quite the same. Like we're being particular about the statement that's going to be here, but then it's just like, bring up the one piece of evidence that has Gingil in it. It's like, okay. The High Priest's wife, Believe in Me, told me about the Feast of Blessings. The feast includes a number of Gingil-based dishes, and they're only supposed to be served at a certain time, the day of the rite. Actually, hold on. Did I misread that? Only prepared during the feast. Oh, okay, no, actually, sorry. It does actually say that. I just didn't read. Never mind. That was a bit more specific, but, like... Yeah, anyway.
I believe you're right. I had completely forgotten about that.
During the feast, the unique smell of Gingil pervades the entire kingdom. The fact that the victim smelled it means he was murdered between noon and 3 PM the day before the purification rite.
I am not so easily fooled. Did that autopsy report not make it clear? The estimated time of death was during the rite.
Okay, here we go. Oh, right. I taught her about that yesterday.
This is your fault, Phoenix.
Forgive me, your benevolence, but the estimated time of death is just that, an estimate. Depending on the circumstances, it's possible for it to change.
What's this?
I accidentally set up a trap. Like, if a body was kept cold, the slower rate of decay makes the death seem more recent.
I believe I've heard something of the sort before. If it is as Mr. Wright claims...
Your Majesty, do you really need to open that can right now?
Your Majesty needs to stay awake. It's quite late in the evening.
Fair enough. It's like 3 in the afternoon. What is he talking about?
The estimated time of death in the autopsy report will have to be revised.
I love how it didn't change anything in the actual description, so you don't know. Oh, sorry, no, that's Trust in Me. That's this one. Yep. Based on divination seance. Yep. I also find it funny we didn't actually have to prove that. It's like, wait, why do you think that would have been affected so? And, like, not presenting the bit where it said this, the thick white ice that froze the ground from the inner sanctum to the plaza. Like, we did just kind of skip over that. Hey, Charles, how's it going?
Oh, Charles. Barbed head, you blinded me with science.
Dun-dun-dun. Sorry. Wait, what am I apologizing for?
No matter. The murder may have occurred in the afternoon hours the day before the rite. Nevertheless, the murder weapon with the accused's prints on it is still incontrovertible evidence. I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth.
Oh, I know why we didn't bring that up, actually. It just speeds through to the end. I still don't get that.
The time of death has been corrected, leaving my insight infallible.
Now, when did we get the... Until yesterday, which was May 9th. And we're saying this murder took place now May 8th. Okay, so, yeah, Ice was there. And, he's looking at the ground, huh? Again, but again, this is a contradiction. This is a contradiction in my court record, not... fuck. That does feel kind of frustrating that, like, there could be a contradiction I know of that's lurking in there, but since I'm forced at the moment to engage specifically with the insight and what Rafa is saying, but I guess it's kind of like agreeing on what a piece of evidence means before connecting it to the rest, which, yeah.
Yeah.
Nick! Change in the time of death is bound to cause some sort of an inconsistency. I had something that showed what it was like on that on that day. It could really help. Yeah, it would. Would you allow me to present a piece of evidence now, or...? It was the afternoon. Oh, it's dark. The pattern of the plaza's ground was visible. Like, yeah, so it's clearly leading me toward the newspaper talking about the fact that the place is covered in ice, but now I don't...
Yeah, obviously you know what this green floor is, but I think Phoenix is still stuck on, this mysterious green pattern.
It was the afternoon... It was the afternoon of the day before.
Yeah, I think you have this, yeah, because you were looking through the newspaper before, remember? And it mentioned something about
yeah.
the ground being covered in ice, I think?
Thick white ice that froze the ground from the inner sanctum to the Plaza of Devotion. So that's the problem.
So I think that's our point B. Yeah, we know what point C is, but I think that's our point B.
Well, what is our point B? Like, that's the problem. Like, do I just go this statement and then the...
I think so, yeah. I think you dispute the site, because obviously we know what this is, but the newspaper proves that what it isn't, I guess, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah, but even then, like, again, this is where I'm like, I want to present evidence to this insight, but it's asking me to find a contradiction, but, like, the 3 points together form a contradiction, not any of the two by themselves. And that's where it's like, what is the purpose of connecting A and B when it's not actually contradictory? I mean, I guess I can... Yeah, okay. The change in the date and time of the crime has caused a new inconsistency to surface.
What's this?
Yeah, and the reason this is weird is because I felt before that, like, trying to do what I just did was a problem because it wasn't pointing out a contradiction. Like, I feel like I got burnt by that at some point.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
It can be a bit finicky sometimes. I feel like the way they write these games is the right way, where they decide what the plot and the twists are first, and then decide on the puzzles second, and that keeps things like fairly logically consistent in terms of the narrative, but it can make things feel a bit jumpy mechanically because they have to kind of figure out how to get from point A to point B without, taking too much control away from the player.
Yeah, and this is not that makes it automatically bad. Like, first of all, the series has had this problem since the beginning. There were definitely some stuff in the earlier games where they had huge leaps in logic that probably made sense more to them, but given where your head might be at, just doesn't make sense. But like at the end of the day, it is kind of.
I will never forgive.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know.
I will never forgive Shikifumi for only giving me one chance to press that goddamn clown.
Yep.
Pressing the thing that is supposed to be the low-risk information gathering tool? Yeah, do that once, and if you fuck up, you die.
Yeah. Awesome. I don't think you did this line.
Oh, right, I have to say this.
Yeah, you were good.
You're making that irritating face again. Cease that at once.
Sorry, but this is the face I was born with. Shit-eating grin and all. Now, let's focus on what is important. What the victim saw in his final moments.
Do you have bats in the belfry, Barbed Head? There was nothing to see. The ground of the plaza was all that entered the victim's eyes.
And that's what I find so strange. On the day before the riot, it should have been impossible to see that pattern on the ground.
Impossible, you say? Do explain.
This piece of evidence shows why the plaza's ground was not visible on that day.
Take that!
This newspaper has an article that is tiny in size, but huge in importance. It says that the ground was covered with thick white ice the day before the riot.
What? But...
The victim did not see so much as an ice cube on the ground.
Exactly. And so we must ask, what was the victim looking at in his final moments?
You have something to say, then say it.
The last thing the victim saw was not the ground at the Plaza of Devotion. This can only mean that he was killed elsewhere.
What? What? Then where do you propose the victim was actually killed?
Yes, tell us where. Otherwise, your argument is worthless.
About that? I haven't gotten to that part yet. Any ideas, Maya? Let me think. Well, it's somewhere green and shaggy, right? Right, but where could that be?
What is it, Barbed Head? Giving up already?
Again, like, sometimes, like, it just happens, and it's not, like, something bad, but I do find it weird when my disconnect from the game's, like, the points the game is getting hung up on is so severe, where I'm like, yes, it is very obvious where that would have been. Like, the first thing I was looking for in this trial was, where can I place the hand marks? And it immediately showed it to me, and we've been going through it slowly, like Phoenix hasn't put it together. Not at all. Where have I seen something green and shaggy? This shows where the victim was killed.
Take that!
The secret hideout the rebels were using. The what?
Rebel hideout? There was no such place anywhere on the floor of that chamber.
You're absolutely right. There's no place on the floor, anyway.
And what did the victim see in his final moments if not the floor of the rebel hideout?
This is what the victim saw in his final moments.
Take that!
The shaggy green surface the victim saw was one of the moss-covered stone slabs. As you can see, there are two distinct hand-shaped impressions in the moss here. I believe the victim was killed while he stood there with his hands pressed against the slab.
Objection!
That does agree with the Seance vision. So Marty, do you know what an objection is? However, one cannot definitively declare they are one and the same.
I concur. There's no proof that a murder occurred in the rebel hideout.
Indeed. What evidence do you have of this?
Phoenix just looks back at the photo, looks up at everyone, and he's like, what the fuck am I doing here? Sadmadi, you did not see this. Come on. I wonder if he even knew about the hideout, now that I think about it. Well, no, didn't Rafa call the police? Or was that just, like, a thing she was going to do?
I think she did eventually, yeah. But only after standing in the doorway and peeking around it for a while.
Yeah. I've already shown you the evidence.
What do you mean?
Please take a look at this second version of the photo I just showed you. You can see the results of the luminol test I performed in the rebel hideout. This is proof positive that someone had been bleeding in front of that stone slab.
Is this true?
This information has already been provided to the police.
Detective Sky, to whom does this blood belong?
We thought it was the High Priest's blood that flowed in from the outside. So we haven't tested it yet.
Then you must do so at once.
Yes, Your Majesty.
It appears the police have finished testing the blood. Detective Sky, your report, please.
The blood found in the rebel hideout belongs to Perez a lot, just like the defense claims.
So, I'm assuming here we're now just conflating Perez a lot and, real name,
Real
Namu.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise that distinction would be important. Detective Sky, do you realize what your blunder has done to me? When this trial concludes, I want to see you in my prayer chamber. There.
Detective Sky, you gangly, uncoordinated bitch. I will not be hog-tied for your lack of grace.
I will deliver a joyous sermon unto you for 8 hours straight.
8 hours straight? Oh, I want it to be 8 hours gay.
You can't...
I'm really sorry, but please, anything but that.
Luca! I was gonna say you can't put a neurodivergent woman into a room and tell her you need to focus on this for 8 hours. The fuck is wrong with you, Sadmati? Fucking torture.
Clockable doll. Oh my god.
Nick, maybe, just maybe, this is a chance we've been waiting for. Yep, it would seem so. I hate to do this to Emma, but... Go for it. It's full speed ahead. Screw her! The victim was killed in the rebel hideout the day before the purification rite. Then, his body was moved to the Plaza of Devotion by someone we've yet to identify. So, when we thought we saw acolytes a lot praying during the rite, he was already dead. And that's not all. If he was killed at the Inner Sanctum, that would explain one more thing.
That would be...
How the time of death was made to look after, Oh, sorry. How the time of death was made to look later than it actually was. The proof of which was left behind at the Sanctum. This points to how the time of death was made to appear later than... Oh, okay, we are actually doing this then. The frost? Oh my fucking god, what did I just miss? Do you truly believe that could affect the estimated time of death? And why not? Then let us test this idea on your body. Pass?
Mr. Wright's body may still be alive, but he appears very much brain dead.
Ugh, I don't believe that one.
So, no one attempted to cover up the true time of death.
No, I believe someone did. This points to how the time of death was made to appear later than it actually was. But the only evidence of that we have is the autopsy report. What?
There's one other piece of evidence, and it's subtle, but it's there.
Was it the
So
fucking...
you think it's the... So you think it's the cold, right? You think that's what threw off the time of death?
I think it's one of the things that throw off the time of death, yeah.
Do you think that this was incidental or intentional?
I don't know if that distinction matters, like the person can't control the weather. But it obviously
like-
would have helped. So, like,
Yeah,
incidental,
so-
ultimately.
So you don't think that whoever killed Real Nemu intentionally tried to throw off the time of death with by using the environment?
Well, no, I think that was intentional, but if there are more
Okay.
like, yeah, like, I don't think it was a mistake. I think, like, okay, there's a difference between, like, the prior planning of killing Parazelot and using something in the moment to make the death look later than it was. So, like, if you're planning to do that already and it happens to be cold, then, yeah. It can both be intentional that you wanted to throw off the time of... Like, the other thing I think was, like, what did they throw off the... Because there's something covering the blade in the back of his neck. Or in his back.
Hey, the scarf?
Yeah, the scarf. So, is it that? It's like, this would be one of those times where I would really appreciate the game going like, oh, yeah, no, we understand that, we already covered it. What, is there anything else? But, like, straight up pinging you like that was a dumb thing to say is weird. And I don't think we talk... I mean, I guess you could also, like, show the scarf there, but... That's really the only other thing, I think.
Take that!
Yeah. No? Oh my fucking god. What is it? What? Like, is it the scarf?
No.
Okay, then I'm lost. I don't know what the fuck the game is talking about. Alright, let's go back.
So if
If he was killed at the Inner Sanctum,
If
that
you
would
think-
explain one more... Sorry, Mina, 1 second.
Yeah.
Explain one more thing. How the time of death was made to look later than it actually was. There's something to do with the Inner Sanctum.
So I guess if you think if Phoenix says it's related to the Sanctum, look at evidence related to the Sanctum.
Yeah. I think that's the only bit of evidence I have of the Sanctum, though, right?
Well, of the rebel base, but the Inner Sanctum refers to the entire top of the mountain where the ritual was taking place.
Oh, okay. I think the game lost me. I genuinely don't know what it's driving at.
What? Take another look at that.
Is it the shoveled... Is it the blood? Or is it the pool of... Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Take a look at the other
Like-
photo real quick. Have you had to present this for any reason yet?
Well, no, but I don't... What has this got to do with anything? Oh. No, hold on. That doesn't...
Take that!
Take it away, Phoenix. I don't get it.
Why, those are photos of the Inner Sanctum?
I'd like you to focus on this one. The proof is right here in this photo. This is how the time of death was made to appear later than it really was. Do you see how the snow has been removed in this one spot only? That's because it was used to keep the victim's body cold. Okay. And that's why the time of death wasn't what it seemed.
That's enough!
I was mistaken. In the place, too. And just what do you believe that proves?
That my client is innocent.
What are her fingerprints on the dagger and the plumed Punisher theme the victim heard? You have failed to address those two key pieces of evidence.
Ugh. I see your point. Okay, so we moved past that point. I don't. Okay, so like, just from the rip when I saw that, I'm like, oh yeah, there was blood or something on that at some point. Cool. File that away for later. When the game is asking me, how do you think the time of death was altered? Like, I get what it's driving at, but, like, we're also talking about, like, sub-zero temps in the middle of the fucking, like, in the mountains. Like...
Yeah, I think the premise is flawed because the body just being left out in the open or in the water would have done a good job of preserving it.
Yeah,
I think the
like,
more apt question would have been, where was the body hidden where it could be kept cold and out of sight? You
yeah,
know?
it's like, well, yeah, it's like, well, that also explains what one thing. What's that? Where the body was in the interim. Like, because unless you're going to move it, like, directly at the time, which, like, we have no evidence that didn't happen. Like, yeah, especially because we haven't established anything about the movement of the body from the inner sanctum down there. Like, this feels like we're going from, like, A to E. Where it's like, oh, okay, like, because I would think of it as, like, okay, whoa, you're meaning to tell me they got murdered in the inner sanctum, then how did they appear down in the prayer spot there? That seems weird, doesn't it? How could someone get it down there? And then it's like, okay, so that could happen. We establish a kind of timing that could happen. There's probably a discrepancy in, like, the time that they were killed and the time they would have been able to appear. And then someone would have need to ask, well, hold on, what happens in the interim then? That doesn't seem to make sense. They wouldn't just have the body in the inner sanctum. There'd be blood in more places. Where did the body go? And that's where you're like, somewhere you could keep the body cool, that you could remove evidence of the body actually being there. The snow next to the lantern. Like, that is such a weird, like, prompt for that. Because I'm like, the place was covered in ice when he was killed. We already established that. Like, that would be enough to fuck with, like, cold weather, period, is enough to fuck with it. You don't need to literally put the body on ice to fuck with the time of death? Oh, that's so weird. I'm not a fan of that. That is such a weird way to, like, especially because and obviously this is because my head was there already, but I'm thinking, like, that's removing evidence. But we're not looking at it from the evidence removing point of view. We're looking at it from, like, a storage point of view, which does imply, like, you know, the body would have been moved. But, like, when you ask me, when you phrase the question, how did the body's time of death alter? I look at you and go, the weather pattern I already established? Like, there hasn't been an establishment of, like, oh, there needed to be extra things, or, like, the killer did something else to do it on top of that, or connecting that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the way that was presented. Like, that. This is the thing I was talking about earlier, where it's like, yeah, the series has always had points where it just makes really weird jumps in logic, like, later down the logical train, and, like, very fucking weird, in my opinion. Like, I get it, but, like, that is the weirdest way to start using that piece of evidence. Wasn't this your big chance, Nick? Really hoping that the difference in location can invalidate either the weapon or the theme song from being used as evidence against you. Like, in terms of that, I guess that does make sense, but, like, I'm really surprised we have completely glossed over how the fuck did someone get the body from the inner sanctum to the prayer area where the public is just able to walk up and pray. And that's where I was thinking about the scarf, because I'm like, well, that would hide the time of death, because, like, when did the scarf have that? Like, it's obscured for a long period of time. No one knows when that actually happened.
Yeah.
Is this the one where I was surprised they wanted me to make interesting logical leaps, or was that TGAA?
I think that was TGAA case 4, because case 4 of Grey Ace Attorney 1 has some, like, pretty wild shit going on, and like, it works in the context of it being an exaggerated cartoon universe, but coming off of how relatively grounded the two cases before it are, it feels very strange. Very dissonant.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, like, that's, like, I understand the logic of it, but from, like, the game design perspective, like, that feels like such a weird angle to come from. And it feels like it feels like there are a lot more really serious questions here. Like, we haven't really engaged with how the fuck did the body get down there, which seems a lot more pressing than, that feels a lot more like the incredulity, where the incredulity could come from. Where people are like, okay, hold on, even if what you're saying is true, that doesn't track. Someone would have needed to move the body into the public area people were praying at. How the fuck did they manage to do that? That seems a bit silly, Mr. Wright. How about you explain to us exactly what happened? And I kind of get it from where Phoenix is at the moment, but, like, yeah. I think you could have written that a bit better, personally.
Yeah.
Actually, that
It's like
Go on.
it's just like, it's one of those things where just like tweaking the question would have borne more fruit. Because like, sure, everyone knows, like, we already established that it was freezing cold. That should, that should go without saying. But the game needed to nudge you towards why that section of shoveled snow was important in particular. So Phoenix should have led into it by saying, not only do I know, how the time of death was altered, I know where they hid the body too, or something like that.
Yeah, and that's where, like, discussion prior to that point, where it's talking, like, because you can just make the change on, like, the literal dialogue level. But, like, personally, I would have made a bit more of a bigger change of, like, the sequence of questions, where someone was like, okay, hold on, so you're saying, like, not only was this person murdered at a different time, but a different location. How does the two connect now? Because now we have to establish those. And once you do that, then you can easily work in a hole of, like, well, hold on. If they had to wait this long for the body to be able to be moved there, was that just sitting in the fucking, thing for that long? Like, we'd have to establish, or there would need to be some evidence that, like, because it would make a lot more sense if it was like, but you drag the body through the inner sanctum, there's no way that wouldn't leave something. And then Phoenix is like, well, actually, it probably did leave something, and then points to the shoveled out bit there. Yeah, that's... especially the volume of snow, too. Like, that's the thing that made me think, this was evidence removal. But, yeah, look, I'm just spinning my wheels at this point.
Yeah, no, I totally get you, and I agree. It's like, it's really wonky considering how relatively smooth the process of getting up to that point was.
And definitely within the last, like, 10-15 minutes, I felt like I'm being pulled in, like, weird, really strange directions with, like, the things that are getting hung up, we're getting hung up on, and then simultaneously the logical leap I had to make with that one. But yeah. It's just one of those times I'm not on the same wavelength as the game. Actually, that might be possible. At least for one of them. Really?
What's this? You say you can contradict our argument for a key piece of evidence? Very well, let us see you try.
Nick, take a good look at the rebel hideout photo. Sorry, what are we trying to... Really hoping that the difference in location can invalidate either the weapon or the theme oh, yeah. Okay. Oh! The defense can invalidate this piece of evidence. The Plume Punisher theme.
The Plumed Punisher theme, and how do you intend to support such a claim?
Since the murder happened in the Rebel hideout, there's something there that played the theme song other than my client's strap.
It wasn't the strap. Is this true?
The item that played the Plumed Punisher theme song was this. It's the clock.
Take that!
This is a Plumed Punisher alarm clock. I believe the victim heard its alarm going off.
What proof do you have that the alarm went off?
Oh boy, it's the classic.
Objection!
Welcome back to Thinker. What proof do you have that it was my client's strap that played the theme song?
Ah! Do not twist the facts with your lawyerly wiles.
Don't pass out.
Either
Luca.
way, the accused would still be guilty based on her prints on the murder weapon. And here's what really happened.
Oh, right. We were in the we were in the middle of the, I forgot where the fuck we were gameplay-wise. Jesus. Victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. It was the afternoon of the day before the riot. Okay.
Though there have been some twists and turns, that is the truth of what happened.
Won't get anywhere until I can eliminate the dagger.
Most impressive, your benevolence. I see no inconsistency anywhere in the prosecution's case.
No, there is one.
What's this? You still claim there to be an inconsistency?
Try as you might, the outcome will always be the same.
What I'm actually like, this is starting to annoy me a little bit. I cannot believe we have not given 1 second of thought to how in the fuck did the body get moved. Like, I know at the moment we're focusing on establishing the insight, but I'm kind of surprised that, like, like the conclusion of this conversation is not, okay, let's talk about the case more broadly. It's just like, it just did that? What do you mean? Huh? Well, unless it... Oh, no. Okay. Sorry, you were saying that to something else. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. You're right. Like, it just teleported. Like, yeah, of course. It just got up and walked after it died. Obviously. But yeah, like, the thing that annoys me is like, this is always the kind of like risk with like establishing a really stubborn like, sort of system of trials, or like I don't have a good word to talk about basically just the framework of like being in court with all of that. So like, yeah, it had legs. You're right, Luca. I don't know why I was obviously sorry, I wish I had a better bit for that, but my brain is like fighting me to be like, no, yell at the game. But it's like the conclusion of this conversation is going to be, so that means Sadmati's case is completely consistent then, when like not even he or anyone has been able to establish how the body was moved, which I think would be very important when we're talking about like Maya of all people, like bringing a body down like what? The narrow steps from the inner sanctum to the prayer area? Like
The praria, if you will?
the prayer area, if you will, correct. So, like, on one hand, I'm like, okay, yeah, we are still dealing with the insight mechanically, but, like, the actual conversation being had is, oh, well, obviously that means that Sadmati's case is airtight. And it's like, fucking what? That's interesting. I don't know if I've ever felt like this before, where, like, the conversation the mechanic is having and the conversation that's being had by the characters feels like in dissonance like that. At least I can't think of another time that's happened. Maybe it's been a little less obvious because, like, I could at least, like, or maybe there's possibility that I've just bought in some cases to someone having enough sway over the court that it doesn't matter. Like, in particular, a lot of prosecutors end up cornering the defense attorney on, like, no, if you can't prove this one thing right here, right now, no other argument you have holds sway over this because this incontrovertible, blah, blah, blah. Someone has to do a bit and might as well be me. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I've been too serious. I've been too serious about like actually kind of nitpicking the game on this shit to do a bit. So you're right. I appreciate that, Luca. Thank you for filling in. Okay. The victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. It was afternoon of the day before the rite. Then someone was there. The theme to the plumed Punisher filled the air. Did we even, did we actually... Oh, shit. Oh, I can't look at the history now, because I'm in the... Fuck, that's annoying. Did we... So there's currently there's an argument as to whether or not the Plume Punisher theme... Like, I think neither can prove that it was the clock or the strap that actually did it, so that's up in the air at the moment. Nothing's changed in the insight, so I have to imagine it's something to do with these. The victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. Yep. It was the afternoon of the day before the rite. Yeah. Someone was there, and the theme to the plumed Punisher filled the air. Right. The accused plunged her knife into the defenseless victim's neck. We haven't talked about heavy yet. Yeah, actually, we just never talked about heavy at all. But then I don't really know if that contradicts anything.
How did the first statement change?
The victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout.
Maybe that's what you want to do. Because he's not standing, right? If it's heavy.
Hold on. Yeah.
Maybe the fourth one, because that's when it starts to like fall towards him.
Yeah, that actually, yeah, that's a good point. I don't actually know, because this could actually be laying down still. But then what? Yeah, something heavy pressing in on him, but like, yeah, maybe. It's a bit of a long shot. I'm gonna just really quickly save the game. I guess I'm. Oh, that. Well, I mean, I guess if it was pressing it on his back, it would probably be touch as well. Did this... The other thing I hadn't considered is, if, like... Actually, hold on, let me... No, the blood splat is potentially inconsistent with the positioning of the rock. In fact, if someone... Oh, and these things were really, precarious to be around. Like, nudging them slightly made it wobble, didn't it? Is it possible...
Yeah.
Oh my god. Did he have that thing, like, press in on him and push him into the fucking statue?
That would hurt.
That would hurt. But it would explain the position of the blood. It would explain the blood on the statue in the inner sanctum. Oh, shit. Like, the exact, like, positioning and things like that, I might be a bit vague on, but I think that's probably my theory here. So then... The victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. I don't think I can contradict that.
But I guess what you're trying to the heavy contradicts stood with his hands on the stone slab because you wouldn't be feeling the heavy unless it was falling on you, right?
Maybe I'm reading too much into the wording, but nothing in here implies that he was, like, just... Like, stood with his hands on the stone slab, I don't think contradicts while it was pressing in on him, if that makes sense. Like, I'm more thinking... but I guess there isn't anything here that implies... Oh, yeah, no, it is kind of how the attack was carried. Yeah, maybe it is that bit. I mean, I will say this is a lot more of a passive statement compared to what is actually happening in my head now.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting that she's kind of adapting the statements to make them more neutral and objective rather than extremely tinged by her biases, which is interesting mechanics as character development in a sense.
Yeah. Like, because this statement here is objectively true to the, like, to the to the letter of this sentence, this is 100% correct. However, it's like, it could be leaving out context, it could be leaving out, like how many positions would be considered, would this sentence be considered valid for? That's the kind of where my head's at. I'm gonna give it a shot. Fuck it. Okay,
No music,
yeah.
you got it.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was listening for. Yeah, that's an interesting one, because, like, I love that, but unfortunately, given, like, the context of how some of these have gone, I wasn't willing to give the game the... I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
The leeway?
More like, the credit that it was looking... It was trying to get you to really read, like, what the sentence is implying, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Like we were talking about, it's a lot more of a passive, like, neutral statement on what is happening that does not account for heavy. But given some of the things I've had to point out or contradict before, I wasn't willing to be like, I don't think it's going to be that nuanced about it, when it actually was. I think that's a really interesting thing to end up contradicting. Again, because this isn't evidence, this is someone's interpretation of events. And it is important often to look at the way people talk about stuff like that, and if they state it in an oddly neutral way. Don't know why that would be on my mind recently. The victim was originally thought to have been stabbed while bent over in prayer, but he was actually standing with his hands against the stone slab. So the question is, where did the sensation of something heavy come from?
Yes, I see your point.
Since the victim was standing, he couldn't have been held down.
Eep.
And tell us, Mr. Wright, what was that heavy sensation felt by the victim?
What caused the heavy sensations Zalot felt? Any thoughts, Maya? I agree that the sense of heaviness seems important, but there's also the matter of Zalot's hands on the stone slab. Why were they even there? Could it be related to the cause of the heavy sensation?
Well, Mr. Wright, you have an answer for us.
He was attempting to bench press the stone, Your Honor. Of course. I just envisioned the state Zalot was in when he was killed. The cause of the heaviness the victim felt was the culprit jumping on him, the falling stone slab. The only conceivable cause is the stone slab falling over, trapping the victim underneath. Man, this is where I feel like we're taking baby steps again. It creates a really lurching pace where, like, if you imagine, you know that game some, like, people play when they're kids, like, not step on, like, the cracks between tiles and stuff like that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It feels like you're taking, like, one tile, and then you, like, do a, like, 3 to 4 tile leap and then go back to one tile again. Like, it just feels like we're just constantly lurching back and forth in terms of, like, the speed and rate of, like, logical kind of steps we need to take. You know, that, the snow shoveling one being, like, a big one, in my opinion, and this one being, like, well, because I already think this has got something to do with the statue. This doesn't technically, like, mean that this is contradicting it or anything, but, like, we've gone to the thought of, oh, trapped literally underneath, like, trying to push that up. But I'm thinking more like, no, that thing was about to fall on top of him, and it's pushing him further and further back into the statue. Which, like, again, if we're being as picky with the words as we were with Rafer, I feel like underneath is doing a little heavy lifting, if you'll forgive the pun.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, we have blown over when we should have had a break, so I think we'll take one right now.
Sounds good.
Yeah, okay. Oof. Yeah, I feel... oh, no. Because I feel like I'm starting to piece together what may have actually happened now. Which is... yeah. Like, I already had a thought that, Baleeb was, potentially the perpetrator of this stuff. And, like, I could see, like, for example, this particular bit being incidental. Like, there was an argument, like, and in amongst that just happened, and, well, I don't want to read too much into it, because there's obviously a lot going on, but, like, I can already see there's some pieces here that can lead to some, like, tragic readings on this, so, oh boy. Anyway, we'll figure some of that out when we come back. I'm back. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to put up the BRB screen. Oops, sorry, it will happen again. Oh, I did not unmute myself on Discord. That was silly.
Hello, I'm back.
Welcome back. Alright. Alright, stone slab puzzle. What the fuck happened here? Hold on. Game. There we go.
Ah!
Oh! Stone slab came falling down on him, crushing him underneath. Solved my stone slab puzzle. Right. That was the cause of the heavy sensation the victim felt.
Objection.
While your theory is impressive, you have overlooked a key fact. The victim was not crushed to death. Rather, he was stabbed. Oh, yeah. What do you claim that the dagger was plunged in after the slab had fallen on him? Plus, had the killer been behind the victim, they would have been crushed together. I will say, one interesting thing about Sadmati as a prosecutor, he, at least in, like, immediate dialogue, he seems like he doesn't plan as much. He doesn't feel like he is as far ahead of the narrative and case as someone like Blackquill or I guess just other prosecutors in general. He very much feels like he's a bit more of like a wall, and he will just use whatever sort of his strategy is less like, I know the case back to front, you can't possibly fool me. It very much feels like he's just gonna put a wall in front of you and say, no, 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 until you actually contradict him, and then he needs to think forward a bit more. I don't know if that quite makes sense, but it feels a little bit more like he just cuts off avenues as opposed to, like, already understands and sets a trap for you.
Yeah.
I mean, he
is kind of the home turf advantage, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's using kind of the strategies that would usually work against in this type of courtroom. And while he did obviously lay some traps here and there in previous cases, like, that's not his key thing. His key thing is, I will stop the conversation right here if I can. Like, at every point, he's just like, nope, that doesn't make sense. Or, haha, yes, that doesn't change anything. Like, trying to atrophy the conversation, in not so much advance it in his favor, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
actually,
the type of person who...
Oh,
the
sorry,
type of person who, as soon as you get a little bit upset with them, will start going, ad hominem, I win.
Yeah, like he gets to set his pieces up before you because the prosecution goes first, and he will his strategy is he will load that as much as possible, and then from there it's just do not let that fall over. Do whatever it takes to not let that base set of assumptions. Yeah, my controller's broken. Fucking yep. Yeah. I wish I could more eloquently explain that, because like for someone like Blackquill, it didn't really feel like he was ever really outsmarted until like the very end of a case. Whereas here, like Sadmati is very much like far more active in just like saying, no, sorry, that doesn't matter, that doesn't help, ad hominem, unrelated, defense attorney, like almost unironically, dude, here goes the defense lawyer again, kind of thing. Actually, oh man, I'd love to sit down and have a think about, like, the ways of explaining each of the prosecutor's different strategies in the courtroom. Because they're all very distinct, but I've never, like, sat down and really thought about the best way of distinguishing them. Like, Clavier, for example, is a really interesting one, because it doesn't really feel like he ever gives a shit if he loses. He's just like, oh yeah, we got to the end of the trial, awesome. And he goes with the flow a lot more, and it's like really unclear if he actually has a lot of like insight into what will happen in the case later on. He just kind of plays it off as cool the entire time until he does actually break.
Yeah, he's like, "Ach, nein, it seems I have lost again. Time to go back to being a rich and famous rock star."
Yeah, exactly.
And Miles is really just sitting in his office seething and being like, you know, we actually have to win cases sometimes.
The best outcome to your cases is not the shortest. Like, please take this. I need you to. Clavier, can you lock the fuck in? Yeah, we already did that one.
Well, would you care to explain?
Boy, would I. Sure, I'd love to. Doesn't mean I can. How could the dagger have been plunged in after the slab fell on the victim? The killer couldn't have plunged the dagger into the victim after the slab fell on him. But what if the murder weapon wasn't what we thought it was? Thank you, Phoenix. Well, there were other weapons in the rebel hideout. But the entrance to the hideout is right by the stone slab. There isn't enough space between the two to use any of the weapons found within. Yeah, there's not much space by the entrance, is there? Path of least resistance is not an effective prosecution strategy. Yeah. So what was the real murder weapon then? I better think of something. If the murder weapon wasn't the dagger, then the dagger must have been plunged into the victim after he was already dead? That means he was stabbed at least twice, but the autopsy doesn't mention that. Then he must have been stabbed in the same spot with something sharp like the dagger. Oh. Would the defense care to offer an explanation sometime this century? Wait, wasn't there something dagger-like near the scene of the crime? Okay, game, stop it. Oh, god damn it. Like, you didn't need to do this. Like, I kind of get it. Like, the first nudge, I got. Don't cut to the goddamn inner sanctum, Matt. Oh my god. Please.
Laying on a little thick, aren't they?
Yeah. Something that had a shape similar to the Warbard dagger.
Present your evidence at this time, Mr. Wright.
This shows what really killed the victim. Okay, so I want to say it's this. It could also be the diagram. Like, because I want to be like, it was the bloody statue, you know, the thing with blood on it.
Don't you actually have that? Don't you actually have that in your evidence, like the statue?
That's a good question.
Dang, I thought you did.
No.
I was thinking of the dagger. It's probably the photo then.
I want to say it's the photo.
Because
that's
like the bloody statue is in that photo, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Take that!
Yep. Health disappeared. the other telltale sign of you are correct.
Is this not the photo from the scene of the High Priest's murder? Are you suggesting the murder weapon is hidden herein?
This is what really took Praise-a-Lot's life.
Take that!
Oh, but that's the Warbot statue?
Exactly. The Warbard statue has dagger-like feathers protruding from it. That is what really took the victim's life. Fuck, I love so much that he just, like, slams the desk like that. It's so, like, petulant rage. Like, fucking asshole!
Yeah.
You imbecilic fool. The statue is outside of the hideout. How do you propose it impaled someone who is inside? Haven't you heard? The Warbard statue also functions as a hideout's door. What do you mean? The statue can pull a complete switcheroo. Shut up, Phoenix. A switcheroo? This is cultural terms. You're going to need to explain that to me. To put it simply, it's a revolving door.
A revolving door? Why, that makes perfect sense.
Therefore, I believe the truth behind the divination seance to be this. As the victim entered the secret hideout, the stone sculpture came toppling toward him. He threw up his hands to stop it, but its weight forced him backwards. Yeah.
He threw up.
Unfortunately, the Warbard statue was right behind him. Yeah, until it impaled him.
This cannot be. But the accused's fingerprints were found on the dagger.
She had held it while rehearsing for the rite, which is when her fingerprints got on it.
This is a shocking turn of events, but there's a great deal of circumstantial evidence in the defense's favor. I believe we must accept that the Warbod statue was what killed the victim.
Oh. There we go!
There we go. There we go. I knew I remembered that from somewhere. I thought it was gaslighting myself.
Yeah. Now that we know how Acolyte Zalot really met his demise, there's no basis for claiming my client committed this crime. Nice work, Nick.
How can this be happening yet again? The divination seance is the only truth.
No, your benevolence. It's not the truth itself, but it is a means for shedding light on the truth. Thank you, Phoenix. Do you understand now? Your kingdom needs lawyers so that they can interpret your insights.
What? That means I've been misinterpreting the voices of the spirits all this time?
Uh-oh.
Your benevolence, are you unwell?
Well, she did just realize she may have put a bunch of people to death that, like, you know, may have been innocent.
All the color drained from your face.
Yeah.
I will be fine.
Continue your proceedings without me. As you wish.
Really hit us with the... I feel kind of bad for her.
Ah, then I would have the defense continue. Please explain what you have learned now that we know how the victim actually died.
Acolyte Zalot was killed in the hideout before the High Priest's murder. That means the body found at the Plaza of Devotion was moved there by the real killer. But only after the Warbard dagger was thrust into him, to make it look like the murder weapon.
That does seem to agree with what we now know. But why would the real killer go to such lengths?
That's a good question. I believe stabbing Acolyte Zalot's body with the dagger and moving it to the plaza was a warning for the Twilight Realm, a crime committed for fun, to make it look like a serial killer. Or serial murder. I mean, yeah. It was an attempt to make my client look like a serial killer. That's right. The real killer planned all of this. This forged serial murder case.
They did?
That's it, Nick. Keep hammering away. Your reasoning has more holes in it than that cheese you foreigners so enjoy. What? Not all cheese like those putrid, hole-riddled clumps of curds that only a rat like you could love. Your reasoning, much like your putrid hole... Sorry, hold on, I need to reread this. Like those putrid, hole-riddled clumps of curds that only a rat like you would love, your reasoning, much like your putrid, hole-riddled brain, has putrefied. Fucking hell. Put in a semicolon, my guy.
Talking shit about cheese, get him.
Yeah, well, that too. I'm not a huge cheese enjoyer, but I'm not about to talk shit about it like that. What's this deal with things going putrid? It's because everyone associates that with a smell. It's actually really easy to make people believe something's like really bad if you can describe it in a way that makes people associate it with a smell.
The key is to imply pungence. If you can imply pungence, then all will be turned against it.
You have yet to overturn my argument that the accused is the killer. A careful analysis of the chain of events up to the killing exposes the truth as follows. Disguised as Lady Kira, the accused found the rebel hideout the day before the rite. But Acolyte Zalot had followed her there after noticing her suspicious behavior. Caught by surprise, she pushed the stone slab toward him, and we know the rest. There's a lot of assumptions you're making, my guy. I've never been to the rebel hideout in my life! When the High Priest arrived at the sanctum the next day, he realized what she had done. That is when the accused murdered him in order to silence him.
I believe Prosecutor Saad Mahdi has posed a compelling scenario. The defense, on the other hand, is yet to disprove the accused's guilt.
Objection!
Why would my client move Acolyte Zalot's body to where everyone could see it? And why would she stab the dagger with her fingerprints into his dead body? She had no reason to do any of those things. The dagger in his corpse was likely a warning to the rebels. Something along the lines of, Lady Kira will slay the Defiant Dragons. Okay, but then why... Okay, why are the prints still there? You can remove fingerprints.
The plaza for all to see.
Like, now he has the judge convinced too? Thought I'd finally made some headway.
Like, half of Sadmani's court tactics are just appealing to people's existing prejudices and biases.
Yeah, quite literally. Like, spinning up just enough of a tale that it's like, oh yes, that all makes sense, and of course this person would do that because we already think they're a criminal, blah blah blah. Like,
Yeah.
like notice he hasn't
His
had to
reasoning is
present.
basically-
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, like his reasoning is basically, well, we already proved that she's the serial killer, therefore it doesn't matter if she was acting illogically, because what's logical about being a deranged killer?
No, exactly. Like, it is effectively that. Like, he doesn't feel the need to substantiate the actual, like, thought process behind it, because that is what happened, effectively. Shouldn't these people be celebrating for her for this? Yeah, this is the bit I'm also confused about, because, oh, sorry, go on, Mina.
Yeah, we did kind of discuss this last stream, where it's like, they agree with the sentiment, just not the execution, no pun intended.
Yeah, but, like, I don't buy that they're not showing, like, any, like, consternation about that, or, like, shifting opinion of it, because these people have been so, like, against lawyers and against rebels, that, like, they have a rebel killer in front of them. They have a rebel killer in front of them, and they're, like, not even the crowd is, like, changing their opinion all that much. Sadmati's tactics, like, regarding, like, you know, people who commit crime and stuff like that isn't folding under that new fact. It just seems to be, like, I could read it as the fact this person is committing a crime is the bigger thing here, but I don't think the game has really, like, touched on that being a reason. It's just gone forward without really doing anything with that, in my opinion.
Because I think the first trial kind of implied, if not outright stated, that Lady Kira up to this point never killed any rebels, just beat the shit out of them and dropped them off with the police, essentially. Like fascist Batman, like Frank Miller's Batman. And so I guess they consider actively killing them instead of leaving them to face justice to be a bridge too far or something.
I mean, I would believe that. But again, like, it's less like that there isn't a reason or anything like that. But given the amount that the game has gone to talk about, like, the venom toward rebels and criminals, that they haven't actually explored what is happening more socially in this scenario, where, oh my god, did you hear the rebel, this new Lady Kira killed rebels? Like, there isn't an exploration of that, and I would really appreciate that, given the amount they've talked about, people's attitudes toward the rebels and that. Like, actually drawing a line here and definitively saying, like, even the people are not okay with killing the rebels. They're okay with subduing them and making sure they are reviled and all that other shit. But, like, killing them is a bridge too far. But there just isn't any of that. It's just kind of speculation on the part. And that wouldn't matter if it weren't for the fact that Sadmati is acting the way he does. And I feel like that creates a little bit of a gap where it's like, I don't buy just on its face that it would be really simple for Sadmati to still frame things the way he is doing, the way he's doing it. But yeah.
Do you think that there's like a Free Maya campaign going on, analogous to the real life Free Luigi campaign?
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Are people selling T-shirts outside of the Hall of Justice?
Yeah, someone in the rebel. There are rebel. There's reports of rebels, and on Korean social media, people are just innocuously posting Maya photos underneath it. Oh,
like, are imports of the Steel Samurai series going through the roof because people want to know what radicalized her?
Yeah. But see, that's my problem with this is like Sadmati seems to be a person who really does use the societal attitudes towards a bunch of things to sway the judge.
The court of public opinion, if you will.
Yeah, unironically. He uses that a lot to frame and corner Phoenix, and it comes in with this tactic of never let your story be ruined. It's just like pull whatever you can in. Like unironically also ad hominem in some cases by just implying rebels and whatnot. It's like, oh, okay, that makes a bit more sense then. But, like, the fact that he is at the crossroads of this and seemingly knows how to navigate this, I would have really appreciated him being tested in this moment, where he has to try and navigate the fact that this person is accused of murdering rebels, but also representing one of their, like, greatest heroes, and, like, still managing to twist that in his favor, a lot like Raytons did in the second case. Like, I don't know if I would say it's just the absence of a good thing or an actual problem, but I definitely feel its absence because of the way Sadmati's been, kind of characterized.
Yeah, I just don't think Sadmati's a very good character, if I'm being entirely honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe...
He doesn't have, like, an internal consistency to how he's written it. It's just, like... He is antagonist man. He does whatever he needs to do to oppose you in the moment.
I wouldn't say I'm there yet. However, I have already brought up multiple instances of bits where I'm like, surely we're being a bit disingenuous here. And it makes sense that Sadmati wields that kind of, I guess, like, presumed authority or, like, incredible persuasiveness that I would believe he can just position himself as villain man, but it like, works because that's the way he's been able to work. But every time something comes up that I'm like, wait, that doesn't even make sense culturally speaking. Like, this seems weird that we're skipping over it. It does end up chipping away at at Sadmati's presumed skill here. And if it hollows that enough away that he basically, like, the game is just using the presumed authority he has to just hand-wave more interesting or contradictory things that are going on in the story in the cases, that would be bad. You can't just position someone like that, not like actually explore like how he's managed to wield that, but still use him as like a way to like completely bend the way a case goes in the way the writer wants. And like, I don't know if that's the specific vibe you get from that, Mina, and it sounds like Luca's like somewhat in agreement about opinions about him, but I'm definitely feeling like we're unnaturally being bent around. I just haven't quite like connected the dots on like what the culprit, in my opinion, would be for that.
Yeah, I just think that like him following, following the crime to America just so that he can antagonize Athena and Apollo, it's just like, I don't think that they narratively justify that very well, because like so I can buy him after seeing Phoenix in action being like, okay, I want to know where this guy came from.
Well,
I'm going to America to study it.
Mhm.
But then going there and then coming back here in the span of like just under 2 weeks is like he just feels like I just have a hard time understanding his motivation.
It feels like he is an extension of the plot rather than a character. Is the impression I'm getting.
Like, he is antagonist man. Like, he has a very personal reason for antagonizing Apollo, and they haven't really gotten there for Phoenix yet, so he's just extremely hostile by, like, default. And unlike with other characters, like, Godot was also incredibly hostile with Phoenix, but he had a very deeply personal reason for that.
Absolutely,
you know? Francisco was very hostile with Phoenix, but had a very deeply personal reason for that. Like, by comparison, Blackwell, he didn't feel like that because he was just there to have a good time.
Yeah,
like,
same with Clavier. He's just like, yeah, no, I'm like, I also happen to be a prosecutor, but yeah, it's whatever. Like this
Blackwell
is fun.
teases you and he doesn't take anything seriously because he's like, I'll be dead in like in half a year. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
like,
and I think like the specific kind of character they're going with Sadmati too. Like, I feel like it's probably the more difficult version. It's probably the more difficult prosecutor to write because it is so intertwined with like a much broader societal and systemic issue, I would argue, with like what has been demonstrated of Kurain.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to give it just leeway because of that. And just thinking about the logistics of trying to write a character like that, if you don't like really solidify like societal attitudes, how they kind of intersect with certain things, and like really paint it as a believable aspect of that world, it can just feel like Sadmati is making the plot go the way the writer wants.
Yeah, he has stolen hater valor.
Sorry,
he does not earn his hater energy.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess like this is bordering into parts of the conversation I feel like where I can't talk about this as much because we're not into the late. Well, like I haven't seen whatever arc is going on actually transpire, and I feel like we're verging on. I'm getting hints of where this might be going, so I wanna kind of cut it off here. Just at like,
yeah, that's fair.
I would generally agree with like two very key things here. There is some inconsistencies about the way Sadmati is acting compared to the way the writing says he is working, and that I feel like some of the societal stuff is being selectively included, but only for stakes purposes. If that makes sense. Like, we're making it very clear that people hate murderers and criminals and the rebels and that when it raises the stakes for Phoenix, but when it would complicate things for everyone in the situation, we seem to veer away from that. And
yeah, like, I would love to see Sadmati enter court and get yelled at by the galley for prosecuting their hero. Like, that would be cool.
Or even having the crowd split a bit, where like they're actually arguing with themselves even. Someone yells out, "Why are we doing this? She's a hero." And someone else is like, "She fucking murdered people. What are you talking about?" And like there was like he actually had to navigate a situation where the people were divided. Because his strategy does not work if people aren't in like a big consensus like they were at the beginning of the game. Like Kurain has been painted in terms of like a very flat, like all very in tune with the beliefs put forward by the state, which is like this whole thing the game wants to paint is starting to fall apart for me in very little ways because of this stuff. And it's like, yeah, oh man, I wish I could put my words together. Like, we're also entering the territory where I feel like I really need to write down my thought too. Let's go through Luca and then we'll move on. Frustrating thing because the relationship between defense and prosecutor in these games always has a certain level of push and pull, give and take. They have chemistry and bounce off each other well. And then there's Nayuta. It's like as if that would be... Yeah, no, for that last one, yeah, exactly. Like the fact that Satmati could only function within, like, an incredibly, like, overbearing theocratic state is kind of the point. But when they're seen... Where I would think there would be a crack, there is no exploration of it. And I go... But that's, like, you could be unraveling Sadmati's character as much as you're unraveling Rafer, who is actually having to navigate that scenario. Although it's a much more internal, personal one. But the thing is, like, in terms of his relationship with Phoenix, I feel like there's enough there, but, like, for his particular character, I'm not expecting as much investment directly with, like, his relationship with the defense attorney, but more his relationship with the society in which he finds himself. Because that is his method of, like, cornering and prosecuting people. But when you don't engage with that, the rest that you do have is his relationship with, Apollo, which we're going to have to go over at some point, and Phoenix. And the way he's written, he's distant, quick to anger, and, like, falls back on, routine and tradition. Well, those might not be the right words I'm looking for. There's probably a better way of explaining that. But, like, he is very detached from the personal aspects of it, which makes 100% sense because his strategy doesn't really need that. But when that stuff behind him kind of fails, you end up with a prosecutor who, like, isn't acting too far from, like, a Winston Payne, where, like, the second he gets something wrong, he just flies off the fucking handle. But yeah, that was definitely an interesting aside, because I hadn't really, like, sat there and thought through all of that. But yeah. I will say, just off the bat, if this game manages to fumble, like, the exploration of Khura'in as a society and how that's affected, like, you know, the strategies and thought processes around, like, the trials and court and the police and all of that, if it manages to fumble that, I'm probably gonna say, like, this game's bad. I'm just gonna be straight up. Because, like, you can't put this whole scenario in there just to make the cases more interesting and not, like, actually engage with that setup, if that makes sense. And I gotta be honest, I am getting the sensation that it is a lot more framing than actual substance, which... we'll see.
We'll see, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
right.
Sorry, right.
Well, Mr. Wright, about time for one of your groans of distress, is it not?
Groan of distress? Luca? My streams are already that. It's all good. Like, this is why I do this stuff, is to actually have some of this conversation. When there's literally nothing, I find myself bored by my own stream as I'm doing it. That's why I don't do any of the stuff during the week that I keep saying I'm gonna do, where it's like, oh yeah, I'll grind some Path of Exile. I'm like, I don't know what to fucking talk about without, like, discussing story. Kills me to admit this, but I've got nothing to counter his argument with. I still haven't disproven the allegations against Maya.
Is it not time to end your futile struggle?
Which was the particular point? Yeah, and like, there's stuff like, well, actually, let me let the game go ahead with its next point. Mina?
Sorry, I just acted like a functional human being and accidentally swallowed some spit.
Oh, okay. That's all good.
Don't you love when that happens? Don't you love how fragile our human forms are?
Yep. Yeah, like, it wouldn't be too hard to accidentally choke yourself doing that. Eh.
You were already judged guilty yesterday. That makes you a dead lawyer walking. Accept the death that then awaits you, and in doing so, finally know peace. Yeah, I love choking on nothing. I love it when my body just decides, oh, you breathed wrong, idiot. Die.
Yeah. See, okay. This is kind of what I mean. Where, like, the framing and all of that here is purely to get Phoenix into a corner. And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't felt this be so, like... What's the word I want to use here? Like, inorganic is, like... I feel like there's a better way to say it, but, like... It feels like the game keeps turning to me and being like, wow, the stakes are really big, aren't they? And I'm like, can you get on with the mystery, please? I get it. We're about to be sentenced to death. Can we talk about why this motherfucker is not thinking about why the fingerprints weren't wiped off the fucking dagger? Like... We keep taking asides for both Sadmati, Rafa, and the judge to be like, wow, you're really lost. Like, you've mega lost. Like, you double lost in this case. Why are you even fighting back? And it's like... For interactions with Rafa, I at least get it, because that is actually chipping away, like progressing her character by having her bump heads with Phoenix on this topic. But between these two, it's just like, yes, I get it. We are about to be sentenced to death. We're doubly being sentenced to death here. It's a really cool scenario. Can you stop acting like the death hanging over me for the last 3 cases hasn't been there the whole time? Like, please. A dead lawyer walking indeed. Then again, not all lawyers who practice in Khura'in. But I must admit, I misspoke earlier. Allow me to amend my statement. I had said the defense's reasoning had a putrid cheese-like smell. But I now realize the stench was from his own putrid body on the verge of death. See, like, I kind of like... Okay, sorry, I'm gonna... Now that we brought up, like, characterization of Sadmati, I do want to talk a little bit about it. Because, like...
No.
This is off-putting, and he keeps doing it, and it could easily fall into the, thing I was talking about before. It's, like, just repeatedly saying, like, oh, yeah, look, death penalty, double death penalty, don't forget, Phoenix is about to die if you don't get this right. And...
You're gonna die, bitch!
And, yeah, he does go on about this putrid thing a lot, and, you know, I think there is an interesting nugget in there. I don't think the game is necessarily aware of that. I made a joke of it before, but, like, unironically, there's, like, I can't remember the context in which it popped up, but, like, someone had researched an association between, like, vilifying or otherwise, like, undermining a group of people and associating them with a smell, because olfactory, or like bad olfactory senses are really like tend to last in people. Like, for example, when it comes to bigotry and shit like that, I know plenty of people in Australia have probably heard a lot of people talk about people from Southeast Asia, particularly India, Pakistan, and all that, and associate them with the smell of curry and like make that a negative. So like this shit often happens. Like, smell can be evoked in those things, and I think it makes a lot of sense for him to be, like, fixated on that. Both from a manipulating the audience kind of thing, but also he finds it personally distasteful to be rotten or impure and things like that. It does wear on me a little bit, but, potentially hot take, I don't think I've ever said this on stream. I was so over Francisca's whip bit by, like, 3/4 of the way through the game. It was leaned on way too much to, like, establish that she was mad about shit, or, like, you know, getting a laugh out of, like, whipping fucking, Gumshoe and that. Like, I genuinely got sick of that. So, like, I can't, like, I may fault the game for doing that, but it's had a problem with doing that before in the past. Same with Pearl, actually. God, the angle she keeps taking about Maya and Phoenix being together grated on me so fucking much. So, like, I don't bring that up to just, like, you know, start shitting on the rest of the series. I bring this up because the game has had a pattern of doing this in the past, but I want to note that those two examples are from well earlier in the series. I didn't feel that in any of the recent games. And the fact that it's falling back on that again is,
Notably, both of those examples are primarily from Justice for All, which, like, for my money, overall the worst written game of the original trilogy. Probably the second worst written in the series, just ahead of Apollo Justice.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that.
But, like, because, like, when Franziska shows up again in Trials and Tribulations and the Investigations games, she's pretty normal. Like, she still has, like, the bit, but is used more of, like, a OU thing than, like, a constant, you know, this is the one joke we know how to write with this character thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, as of this game, Pearl had kind of dropped that proclivity altogether, which is great. Or as of last game, rather. So, at the very least, you know, they when these characters are not the main focus, with their cameos or, like, guest stars, they understand that they cannot use their extremely limited screen time just by doing bits.
Yeah, precisely. And like, because it's surprising, because, like, I feel like Godot probably gets about as obnoxious with the coffee, but that just didn't feel that obnoxious to me.
I guess because, like, there is this underlying sense of pure burning hatred under everything that Godot does. Like, it's targeted. That shit's motivated.
Yeah, he's not just saying, ew, this... Effectively, ew, this foreign lawyer that doesn't understand our culture. Which is the reading I get from... Maybe that's a little bit extreme, but, like, it's definitely in the vein of that from Sadmati, and it's just, like... Yeah. Like, I would... Like, if it was Apollo, and he was trying... And, like, this whole thing was trying to distance himself from it by, like... just, like, rambling on him all the time in this way, I would believe that more, because at least there'd be a personal connection there that you eventually realize, oh, is that why you keep doing that to him? But, like, no, it starts off with Phoenix. Well, actually, no, sorry, it starts off with Apollo, because he didn't appear in the first case. But it just continues here, like, it would have been interesting if he laid off of that a lot more, but with Apollo, he was, like, a lot more with it. Because it's like, okay, underlying thing is here, but why is he being so mean to Apollo? Oh.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anyway. Tangent 7 for the stream over. Now I'm a rotting zombie. I think... Who could have killed Zalot the day before the rite? Who knew about the rebel hideout and could gain access to the inner sanctum? Only those involved with the rite can enter the sanctum, so... Wait a second. Only a rebel would have known about the secret hideout, and the only person who was involved with the rite had access to the sanctum, and was suspected of being a rebel is... Okay, sorry, I think I misread that. Oh, and the only person who was involved with the rite, had access to the sanctum, and was suspected of being a rebel is... Did somebody come to mind? Yes. Except there's one huge problem. A huge problem? What are you two going on about? Plotting your escape from this sacred hole. I would not put it past you, considering you have no means to raise further objection. If I don't do something, Prosecutor Satmati will have this one in the bag. I'll just have to bluff my way out of this, regardless of regardless of that huge problem. Your Majesty, I believe there is another suspect in Perez-Lot's murder.
Objection.
Even the most benevolent Holy Mother would not forgive such a desperate lie. After all, you know very well that such a person does not exist. No, there is one person who knew everything.
Such a figure truly exists? Tell us, who might that be?
I believe the prime suspect in Acolyte Zolot's murder is... I mean, it's specifically pointed to person suspected of being a rebel.
Yeah.
Because personally, I think she's got something to do with this whole thing as well. But
Take that.
it had to be someone allowed to enter the sanctum and who knew of the hideout. And that would be the High Priest. He could have committed the crime if it occurred the day before the rite.
Talk to them.
You would pin a crime upon the dead, knowing very well they tell no tales? Have you no shame? Dead men tell no tales. That is definitely a problem. Forget for a moment that the Seance is definitely telling us some tales, but... Only the High Priest could tell us his side of the story. Oh, no. Oh, shut up. Oh my god. What? Do I have something on my face? Wait a second. Could this actually work? Oh no, don't tell me I have some of my breakfast caught between my teeth. No. There isn't... If there's even the slightest possibility, I'll have to go with it. Your Majesty? Dead men do tell tales. Therefore, I would like to request the High Priest's testimony.
His testimony? And just how do you propose we get the deceased to testify?
There's a way for the dead to testify. It's known as... Oh, no.
This case fucking rules, actually.
Yeah, no, it does. Summon him here by means of spirit channeling.
What did you just say? Spirit channeling? Has this lawyer finally gone insane?
This is sacrilege! May the Holy Mother strike him down!
Peace! I am frankly astonished you even know of such a thing. But spirit channeling is a secret art that only Her Eminence Queen Garan can perform.
I'm not gonna lie, there was also a moment there where I was like, don't tell me we're gonna bring Baleeb on the stand to stand in for her husband. Like, just her on the stand with the picture in front of her face the whole time. Oh.
That was very good foreshadowing, though.
Yeah.
And Her Eminence is far too busy with other duties to perform it at our pleasure.
Yeah, Phoenix, why, like, I'm also like, Phoenix, Maya was specifically asking you to be quiet about this. What? Well, I guess, okay, but you should have communicated this to Maya beforehand, because, like,
yeah.
you are about to die, I get it, but, like, dude. I suspected as much. That means our only hope is... Hi, Maya. It's okay, Nick. You can tell them. But, Maya... Okay, I'm 100% chalking up this particular bit of wording to translation, because this shit happens all the time. But, like, as written, the idea that he threw this out, and then Maya is like, no, that's okay, and then Phoenix being trepidatious about this. is like, what were you thinking?
I guess he was really hoping on a wing and a prayer that they could get the queen to do it first.
Yeah. I thought you wanted to keep it a secret here in Karain. Don't worry. It's not like it's against the law or violates some religious precept, so I don't think we'll be punished. At least I hope not. But this is a crucial period for you. It'll decide whether you become the Master of Karain. We don't have any other choice now, do we? If I'm found guilty, it'll be a lot worse than not becoming Master of Karain. Alright. Thanks, Maya. Actually, there is someone here who's capable of channeling spirits. But even her benevolence, Princess Rafa, finds the divination seance to be a challenge. Who could possibly have greater spiritual power than she, aside from the Queen? That would be me. Is this some sort of joke? Foreigner could not possibly have such power.
Even the royal priestess is incapable of such a feat. Peace, peace, I say. Is this true? Is the accused capable of performing the secret art of spirit channeling?
Well, yes. Yes, I can. Now, Your Majesty, we'd like your permission to begin. Rafa? What the fuck? Your benevolence.
This is an outrage, I say. First you make a mockery of the divination seance, and now spirit channeling.
See, like, oh, man, it would have been really cool to have this moment after the crowd was actually divided. Like, this suddenly unifies them back, and oh, man. Oh, that would have been so cool. Like, Sadmati actually starts losing a bit of ground and is clearly on the back foot, and then they're pushed into a corner still, so they have to use spirit channeling, and he leaps on this reaction to galvanize everyone against Maya again, and he, like, manages to wrest control back. Oh, god damn it.
Still your voices. Barbed head, spirit channeling is the most sacred and secret of arts. Are you prepared to face the consequences of what you propose?
Yes, I am.
Your benevolence, are you saying that you approve of their use of spirit channeling? I will judge whether their claim is true. If this is but another one of their lies, they shall be executed on the spot. Very well, then.
Why does the game feel it necessary every single fucking time to put more stake? I'm getting actually really annoyed about this. Why the fuck do they keep doing this?
Your benevolence. What if the accused accidentally calls forth an evil spirit? Do you truly believe this foreigner is capable of channeling spirits? Oh, no, but I wanted to be sure, as I am responsible for the safety of all present. Well, an inexperienced practitioner could inadvertently call forth a dangerous spirit. But do not fear, for I have a Magatama of parting.
Oh.
With it, I can send spirits back to the Twilight Realm by halting the flow of spiritual power. That is a relief indeed.
I don't know if I like that. That feels like an excuse to be able to cut people off mid-fucking testimony.
These foreigners have thrown down the gauntlet. Let us not shirk from their challenge. We must prove them guilty and deliver their last rites. Do I make myself clear, Prosecutor Sadmati? It's interesting she's kind of the anti-Satamani, where Satamani's like path of least resistance, always gonna try and, warp anything to fit the narrative. And at this point in the story, Rafe is like, no, I don't want an easy win, I want a total victory.
Yeah. I am gonna prove you so fucking wrong before I put you to death.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want it to be simple. I don't want it to be basic. I want every single avenue, every nook and cranny to be explored so that I can be sure that we thoroughly defeated you.
Hmm. Perfectly, your benevolence.
Ironically, she's developed to the point of having more due diligence than the actual prosecutor.
Yeah, which, like, I don't even think that's wrong, because, like,
Yeah.
yeah. That's actually good in this story.
Very well, the accused may channel the High Priest's spirit. But first, we must take a short recess to prepare.
Oh, fine.
We will resume as soon as the preparations are complete. Until then, this court is adjourned. So, would you rather call it here for the week, or do you want to get up to the channeling and then call it?
So I would like to get up to the channeling, specifically
Okay.
because I think next week there is a non-insignificant chance I'm just gonna be way too tired to stream.
That is totally fine.
Yeah. For reference, I'm very likely not streaming Saturday, like, just off the bat. I have 3 concerts and a birthday party in 4 days. So,
That's rough.
yeah.
That's rough.
I inflicted it on myself. It's gonna be a great time, but I also took time off on Monday and Tuesday to make sure I have time to recover. So, yeah. But yeah, like, there's an off chance that would be the case. And if that is the case, I'm gonna try and make it sure it's not. But, like, the weekend after that, I want to experiment with something that is going to take the whole weekend to stream.
Yeah.
So I prefer to get into this here and then potentially, like, wrap up the case next weekend. So we can at least, like, put a bow on that and be like, okay, if my plan actually goes ahead, then we're not left on a cliffhanger. Sorry, Maya, but this is the only way. You sure you're up for this? I hope this gets an animation like Rafer, to be honest. Like, it's probably not going to be as elaborate because, like, spirit channeling doesn't require literal dance, but yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for believing in me, Nick. Even though I don't know if my channeling ability is on point yet. Oh, right. Before she started training here, her success rate was only about 30%. I know you can do it, Maya. At least I hope you can. So, you sure you're ready? Yeah, at least I think so. You don't sound so confident. What about all your training? Training's one thing, actually doing it is another. Oh, I see. Uh-oh. She fails to channel the High Priest, we're as good as dead. Relax, Nick. You can count on me. I'll show you what my training's done for me. This will be a moment you never forget. Okay. I just hope it's unforgettable in a good way. Yeah, I was about to say. It's a bit of an ominous phrasing, Maya. Once we hear Abbot Inmi's story, I'm sure the truth will come to light. I hope so, but he was hiding the fact that he was a rebel, so I doubt it'll be as cut and dried as that. Oh.
They're ready for you. Please return to the Hollow of Justice at once.
Okay, Maya. I'm counting on you. You got it. Here we go. I was about to say, was she about to do it right there and there? And I thought we were walking into the court to do that.
We have received official approval for the accused to channel a spirit here today. Now, if you will, Miss Fey, please proceed.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Can't believe this. Only the Queen should channel spirits.
Execute them! Put them to death right now! Jesus Christ. Come on, Maya. I'm counting on you. I have been studying here in Kurain for 2 years now, so that one day I will be the master of Kurain, a village of spirit mediums back home. But first, I shall show you all the fruits of my training in your kingdom. Wow, she seems really confident.
A neophyte practitioner such as yourself could not possibly channel a spirit.
Okay, Your Benevolence, how about this? If I succeed, will you stop calling me a neophyte?
Very well. If you succeed.
Oh, I will. Just you watch. Good. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, cool. We couldn't get voice acting
it's
on
so
that
fast.
one? God damn it.
It's so fast.
Awesome. Who could... Should I take him? I guess you were the wife.
Do you want it?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Ooh. What is this place?
Oh my. No. This cannot be.
Kunka.
It's the High Priest. The accused really can channel spirits.
I don't
I
believe
don't
it.
believe it.
Oh, sorry.
The accused spirits of power is the real deal.
Go, Maya. Little fist pump under the desk.
I do not understand. This cannot be. This simply cannot be. This is a day of hard truths for this poor girl.
Yeah, I know, right? She just realized, she potentially put a bunch of people to death on, like, misinterpretations, and now, like, some random woman from another country just performed the most secret art.
I must step out now before I forget myself.
Just walks up right to Maya. Thwack! Fuck you!
Have it in me.
Would this be the Twilight Realm? And what of this? Fuck yeah, dude. And what of this luxurious mane of hair? Is it perhaps a gift from the Holy Mother for decades of faithful service?
Have it in me.
You have no idea how long I've longed for hair this long. Oh, my, but if it isn't His Majesty. Have you too shuffled off that mortal coil? I was kind of wondering when you would. You must be older than me.
Please do not count me among the dead. It is only you who has passed on. With his spirit medium, Maya Fey has brought you back among us today. Amogus.
I thought derailed. This'll be interesting though, because like Maya was literally staying with him for a long time. I wonder what his reaction to that's gonna be. Why? Acolyte Faye has mastered the secret art of spirit channeling? I suppose that explains these gorgeous locks.
When I pass from this world, I too hope to be channeled with a full head of hair.
Though it be for the briefest of moments, I give thanks for this splendid coiffure? I don't think I've ever heard
Coiffure.
coiffure.
It's basically just French for hairdo.
I figure. No, shut up, Google.
Coiffure.
Coiffure. Person's hairstyle, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Also eyes. Praise be to the Holy Mother. However, this kimono is a bit too snug for my tastes. If you would excuse me. Oh no. now, sir. Before you leave us, I'm gonna need you to do something for me. There. That is better. Could we get his testimony now? I wish he'd keep his top on. Why, you are that foreign lawyer that the people spoke of as late. And is this not the Hall of Justice? Why have I been summoned here?
Hell yeah, alcohol.
Fuck yeah.
Maya Big Natural.
God.
Luca, we were robbed of that. You saw her beta, her scrapped design for this game, right? We were robbed of Maya Big Natural.
Yeah.
Forgive us for calling you back from your eternal rest. But you have been accused of murder. Might we ask you to testify on your own behalf?
Alright. I have been accused of murder. That is troubling indeed. Ah! What's with that crazy pose? This really calls for such astonishment. Even the lowliest of monks can achieve such body control with the proper training. Oh. I wonder if Albie will be able to do that someday. Tarust leaves, Maya's back, and she's like, oh my, what the fuck happened? My thighs are burning!
Will the defense please explain the situation to the High Priest?
I'd be happy to. Your disciple, Perezalot, has been murdered. It happened on the day before the Purification Rite. And the crime occurred in the rebel hideout hidden within the inner sanctum. Acolyte Salot? He has been killed. Who would do such a thing? Someone who knew of the hideout and had access to the inner sanctum. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my god. This is how... Oh, shit. Hey, remember a while ago when I was just like, why are we just assuming the High Priest is the rebel? And then fucking we find the plumed Punisher shit in the hideout, and I was like, oh yeah, Maya exchanged some stuff with someone like that. Doesn't Believe in Me have the Steel Samurai watch?
He sure does.
This man's about to find out his wife was a rebel right on the fucking stand. Well, at least that's the dart I'm throwing.
Dead?
Yes, yes. Potentially killed by her too. Like, oh my god. Yeah, I already said that. In other words, you have it in me. After all, weren't you secretly a rebel? Jesus Christ. Oh dear. That's still Maya's body. I hope he doesn't break anything.
Wow, the High Priest is amazing. To think he mastered such an advanced prayer pose. He's still worthy of our veneration, even if he is a rebel.
God. Oh. Oh my. My rebel allegiance has been exposed. Not even my wife knew of that. Seems to rest in peace is not my fate. Okay, never mind, but also, huh? Why did you, a devout priest of Karanism, join the rebellion?
Objection.
The High Priest has come back to us for but a brief time, Defense. Shall we not cut to the chase and ask the most pressing of questions? I'm getting dragged in historical texts. Oh, right. Abbot in me, the prosecution believes the one who slew both you and Acolyte Zalot to be Maya Fey, who had been playing the role of Lady Kira in the rite. Being that I was dead until just a moment ago, my memory is a bit hazy. Could you please do your best to remember?
Objection.
The High Priest says his memory is hazy. It is all coming back to me. It is as Prosecutor Sadmadi concluded. I was slain by none other than Maya Fey. The High Priest's statement has proven my assertions with regards to his murder correct. No! But what about Acolyte Zalot? You were the one who killed him, weren't you? I know naught of my disciple's murder. Furthermore, I have an alibi of my own. Alibi? Seriously?
It seems the testimony the defense had been hoping for was working against him. Now, Abbot and me, your testimony, if you please.
I was dead. Yes, of course. That was not... I have an alibi. I have an ironclad alibi for the time during which the murder took place. Just past noon on the day before the rite, I was entertaining guests at my home. And I believe my guests can corroborate this. Okay. You had guests? Just past noon. That's right, about the time Zalot was murdered. Are you sure about that? Absolutely. Come to think of it, Rafa told me about a spirit's memory.
Spirit's memory is cut off at the moment of death.
So even a spirit that is brought back after centuries doesn't sense any gap in time between the moment of its death and the moment it is channeled?
Yes, and yet it clearly recalls all of the memories it had in life.
High Priest.
Okay, this is obviously magic. This is like fully magic, but the stupid, science part of my brain can't help but imagine how horrifying this would be, like biologically.
Yeah, like
the body, the body I can explain as being like an illusion, caused by the spirit inhabiting it. But like, can you imagine if the memory thing is because like your brain suddenly being flooded with a bunch of dendrites and memory centers that aren't yours? just being like acid washed in chemicals. And then when the spirit leaves, it all just gets ripped away.
I don't think I follow.
Just like if they say that a spirit's memories get transferred upon being channeled,
Mm-hmm.
just like if that is like a chemical process and not just like a magic one,
Mm-hmm.
it would just be like the implications are just horrifying. That it's chemically altering the host's brain, and then when the spirit leaves, obviously you don't possess those memories anymore, so they just get ripped away again.
I feel like I don't quite understand.
Never mind. Let's just keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah. So sorry. I'm like I feel like I'm missing something there, but I don't even know what. Yeah, I might be unfamiliar with like uh the processes you're talking about, or like that could be happening if it was a biological thing. Yeah, that's probably it. I just don't know how to. Yeah, sorry. Um, it definitely has some horrifying implications. Like either way. You see,
Yeah.
they transferred the ether of the. God damn it. The High Priest seems to know exactly what he's talking about. So the question is, what would be the best angle of attack? Yeah, that was a very, very short bit of testimony, too. Do I want to go through this testimony, or should we wrap up here?
That's up to you. I can do one more testimony if you want, but if you're feeling the burn, we can cut it off here too.
I do have, like, a hard out. Well, I need to have a hard out. It's not like a... It's not like I'm, need to be somewhere at a specific time, but rather I do need to try and get some shopping done before the end of the day. But I probably got, like, 20 minutes before that I need to think about leaving. So, we can do this, and then we'll probably wrap up there.
Okay.
Alright. Time during which the murder took place. Just past noon on the day before the riot, I was entertaining guests at my home. I believe my guests can corroborate this. Who were the guests? And who exactly were your guests that day? Don't tell me they were rebels, so they can't be called here to testify. It was none other than His Majesty, along with his family. He couldn't attend the rite due to work, so he stopped by ahead of time. My, how his daughter has grown. Wait a second.
Let me set the record straight right now. I am not a rebel. Thank you for that wonderful meal, Abbot and me. Lady Envy's cooking simply cannot be beat.
So there you have it. When exactly was His Majesty at your home? He was there from 2 PM to 3 PM. Indeed, precisely the time period within which Acolyte Zalot was slain. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?
Yes, and we had a rousing chat concerning the game of Catch Them All.
Shut up, Luca. Yeah, there it is. But also, hi, Cookie.
I'll just have that added to the testimony.
Thank you.
After all, it was I who visited the High Priest's home.
I guess that day were His Majesty and his family. They visited from 2 PM to 3 PM. Your Majesty, you're sure this testimony is completely accurate?
As sure can be. Oh, how wonderful it is to finally have my actions be admissible as evidence in court.
His Majesty was at my home during the exact time period of the murder. Come, let us put this behind us. I could not have possibly committed this crime. How can you be so sure? What if the clock or watch you were using was off, or you misread the time?
There was a clock right near the table, and it had the exact same time as my watch.
Now do you understand, lawyer? How am I going to attack his alibi? Maya, what do you... Oh, right. She's kind of busy right now. What? Is there something on my face? No, not at all. Just have to start chipping away at that statement about his alibi. I guess there's a contradiction there, which, like... Pretty sure this said, yeah, 12 PM to 3 PM, so that is not an alibi, my guy.
Objection!
Are you fucking serious?
Well, what makes that not an alibi?
He said he couldn't possibly have done it. His statement was between 2 and 3 PM. Time of death was 12 PM to 3 PM.
Oh, okay. I guess I missed the 12 part.
Please take a look at this piece of evidence. Anything come to mind?
Maybe you just need more information first, like context to add to that? I'm not sure.
But I just pressed that. Alright, let's... Come on. Awesome.
Hold it!
I guess I'll go through everything just in case. You use the word alibi as if it was second nature. Are you perhaps mocking me? Or is it perhaps the kingdom of Grain itself you wish to ridicule?
Come on, everyone and their grandma knows what alibi means.
Oh, bunch of country bumpkins here. We have plenty something TV.
Courtroom dramas on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Peace, 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 I say. Mr. White, would you care to clarify your last statement?
Please, don't take it the wrong way. It's just alibi is a rather technical term for a priest to use so naturally. I assure you, I know how to use the term. In fact, I had even hoped for a chance to do so one day. I suppose that even a high priest... I suppose that even I, a high priest, am not immune to such trivial worldly attachments. Oh, I see. So, he seems unusually calm and composed. It's almost as if he had prepped himself for something like this. Yeah! Which is... odd. Like, he's, like... Yeah. Like... I don't know, would Sudmati be able to get convince the Queen to, like, get him to meet up with Trust in Me beforehand? Or, like... Just past noon on the day of the riot, I was entertaining guests at my home. Okay. Guests? And you were entertaining them personally? That I was. We gathered around the table for a most enjoyable conversation. He said his guests could corroborate his alibi. That can't be good for our case. Are you sure that was the same day as the murder? Maybe you've misremembered? Whoa! Ha! Do not doubt my mnemonic faculties. I may have died, but my memories up to that point are crystal clear. Sorry. He's pretty thin-skinned for a priest. I guess I should have known better than to doubt his memory. Yeah, okay, alright. Yes, yep, thank you. We already saw this exact same thing before. There's nothing better than enjoying Gingild cuisine with dear friends. That way, everyone's breath becomes equally
Malodorous.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking melody, but that's not how you pronounce that.
Yeah. Stinky.
Yup. Right. Oh, this is just to press everything. Okay. Doesn't even line up with the time of death. Like, fucking okay. As you can see, my alibi is airtight. Or do you still think I could have killed acolytes a lot? Is Magistries a witness? Are you satisfied now? There is not a single discrepancy in Abbot Inme's alibi. If I give up now, it's all over. Now, hold on a second. Is there anything wrong with the High Priest's testimony? Maybe that's the point? Is there something he shouldn't have known in that testimony? So this is a weird scenario to put me in, because, like, if you're going to do the thing where it's just press everything and then, oh, well, obviously there's nothing, I feel like the answer here is there isn't. But if that was the point, surely there'd be a way to contradict that? Sorry, you were going to say something, Mina?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Nothing was explained to him about the case, right? Like, he just got summoned back and started talking?
Yeah, which is odd.
So how does he know when the time of death was, then?
Well, that's what I meant, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. Like, he said, like, it lines up exactly, and I was like, excuse me? That's where I thought there'd be a contradiction, because I'm like, how do you know that? Our record doesn't even tell us when the time of death was. But, like, it knocked that back as a contradiction, but... there is. Well, oh, fuck, hold on. Is that actually a discrepancy, though?
I mean, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, fucking hell, I should have saved. There is a discrepancy in the High Priest's testimony.
There is? Well, then perhaps you can explain what it might be.
The prayer feast was short. He knew the time of the crime. After Abbot Inme was channeled, no one ever stated what time Acolyte Zalot was murdered.
Now that you mention it.
Despite that, you claim to have an alibi from 2 PM to 3 PM. That means you knew that Acolyte Zalot was dead when you were still alive. Ugh! Awesome. Wait, I think I saw something just now. No, it must have been the wind. So tell me, how did you know what time the crime had been committed? About that.
They had so much fun with this animation.
Yeah. Open your heart, let me in, Holy Mother.
Why, we've been blessed with the High Priest's sacred words of prayer.
All who serve Her Holiness must strive to banish worldly desires from their soul. Open your heart, let the Holy Mother in. Purge your mind of greed and bias.
I feel as if my very soul has been cleansed.
You can't fool me. Prayer may banish worldly desires, but it can't make a contradiction disappear. How can you be so sure? What's that supposed to mean? This lawyer seems to think little of the power of Kurainist prayer. What the fuck are we doing? Huh? Abbott in me was at home during the crime, but knew of what happened at the hideout. I believe this can be explained thusly. He must have had a way to monitor the hideout from his home. What? Oh, God. You never cease to amaze, prosecutor. As he has surmised, there was a listening device installed at the hideout. Wait, did we find something like that? I feel like we
Something
did,
like that,
didn't we?
Yeah.
It enabled me to instantly learn of anything unusual, even when I was not there. Remember, the rebels had been using this as a top-secret hideout. It would be perfectly natural for them to install such an apparatus. Wait, come to think of it, when I was searching the rebel hideout... Something under the banner. A microphone? What's this doing here? Is someone trying to record something with it? Hey, Sudmati, how did you know that? That was a listening device? It starts recording whenever it detects movement. And I heard such a recording after his Majesty and his family left. If you look in the desk in my study, you will find the tape in question. Oh, okay.
Alright then, bailiff.
I didn't think we were actually going to get meaningful evidence out of that, but alright.
Yes, your majesty. Who retrieved the tape in question from the High Priest's home? At once, your majesty.
That at least gives us a chance to actually prove it wrong, though, and not just be hearsay. The power of Kurainist prayer. Even a putrid brain such as yours should understand it now. But... that... Okay. What? I did that logic. I don't know if I'm even meant to think that logic makes any sense, but like...
What logic?
Like, a Kurainist prayer can make a thing disappear, and he's just like, here, let me logically explain this to you. Now do you see? It's like... What? What? I don't know. That... honestly, I think some of the things the game is doing is starting to get on my nerves, and I'm getting into that mood where I'm like picky about more things than I should be. I think it's like the contradiction really did vanish.
We shall ascertain the content of the recording once we have the tape. In the meantime, I would ask Abbott and me to continue with his testimony.
Very well. I heard everything. I was entertaining His Majesty and his family when the crime occurred. When I listened to the tape later, I heard a man and a woman quarreling. It sounded like an altercation between Acolyte Zalot and Acolyte Faye. After that, there was a loud noise, followed by haunting silence. Hell yeah, Luco. Okay, so we did confirm there was a woman involved. Uh-oh. I have to find some way to attack his alibi. If only Maya were here.
Every time it shows the negative space, I always assume he's just looking at the gallery.
Yeah. She has a way of putting me at ease. Seeing her like this is only creeping me out. Though the High Priest was a rebel, he was still a Carinus holy man. Therefore, take care in your questioning, lest you invoke the ire of our people. See, again! Oh, God, this is so frustrating. They only ever invoke this shit when it actually plays against Phoenix, not when it would present problems for Sadmati. Oh, fucking goddamn it. As if this wasn't hard enough already. Nice try, but I'll stop at nothing to find the truth. And I think we're gonna end it here.
Yep.
So, case is good. I like the case. I wanna be clear about that. God, some of the shit the game is like, some of the repeated bits the game is doing and like the way it's moving just is starting to really grind on me. Like constantly being like, hey, don't forget, you'll die if you get this wrong. Uh-oh, double death for you if you get this wrong as well. Oh, you're gonna be executed immediately on the spot if you get this wrong. It's just like, you can't just keep saying that the stakes are high repeatedly and have that have the same effect every single time. I get it. The DC Act, like, I understand evoking reminding people of the DC Act, because it is a very, very, like, key and illustrative piece of the way the Karain works. But, like, at some point, you just need to, like, you need to stop saying that you will be put to death if you get this wrong. Like... And yeah, like, again, I feel like the crowd only ever really gets evoked when it plays into Sadmati's favor. And whenever it wouldn't, it's just kind of played off, or, like just kind of ignored. And I really dislike that. It feels like it's, there specifically for the writer to be able to maneuver the case as needed, as opposed to actually, like, being a, like, it sacrifices the, and forgive me for being YouTube essay brain for a second, it sacrifices the verisimilitude of the crowd and their opinions for being able to just fill in for, this is why this particular line of logic doesn't need explicit logic and can reside on the opinions of the people. Yeah, it's getting really annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, exactly. Like, you're just repeating that Planet Namek is about to blow up in a few minutes. Like, I get it. The tension is there. You've established it. Like, and obviously you do need to remind the audience of it at pivotal moments to, like, to keep the stake present. But it just feels so... like, it feels overbearing. It's just like... DC Act, you're gonna die, oh god, like, that bit in particular is just like, well, if you fail this, you get executed immediately, was just like, so Maya's gonna succeed. Like, at some point, if you keep pointing out, you will die if this thing happens, I'm gonna be like, so it's not happening, right? Like, it's, yeah. Yeah.
My theory is that they have, like, a screen that goes down over the gallery when Phoenix is talking, and then when Sanmari's talking, they lift it up again.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, and it's annoying because, like, I really want to engage with the mystery of this case. I find the mystery of this case really compelling, and I do like a lot of the, like, tragedy and stuff like that may come out of this. If, for example, I don't know, Abbott in me was not aware of what his wife was doing, or is even, like, maybe even protecting her, which is why he would have this story. Like, the fact that Phoenix points out that he's surprisingly, like, raring to go with this testimony immediately and isn't, like, disoriented or, like, not even just, like, because the spirit channeling would have imperfections in memory, but just, like, oh, hold on, let me try and remember what happened that day. I'm pretty sure this was happening. I'm pretty, like, there's such surety in that, and Phoenix notes it, that I'm like, yeah, something's up there. But every time I want to engage with that, it feels like the game takes, like, as much time to remind the player that, like, you are not, the scenario you find yourself in is not equal. You are not, your word is not being treated as such. You can be put to death on the whims of these people, like, all of that shit. And it's just, it's eating through time. I would prefer the game to be focused on the mystery, and it just can't fucking help itself. And it's not even to, like, really establish anything, in my opinion, that is worth picking through, because it keeps avoiding really juicy things, where, like, what do people think about a rebel killer? Oh, no, they want to put her to death. Don't worry about that. Oh, but remember, the crowd really dislikes Phoenix, though. And you saying you could do spirit channeling. Like...
See, I think some of my problems with Yamazaki's writing writ large is there's a lot of, don't worry about a baby girl, and the game expects you to go, okay, yay.
Yeah, and I'm more just like, but that seems really pivotal to the thing you're writing. Like, you're trying to talk about a society that has, like, views that you're also using in the cases to kind of, like, paint Phoenix into a corner, but, like, they just disappear when they're not forcing Phoenix into a corner? Like, what are we doing here? It doesn't feel like you want to engage with the topic. You just think it's, like, cool set dressing for making the... like, yeah, and in that way, like, the constant reminder of the stakes is kind of revealing in that is the point. The point is to make the player feel like the stakes are always high and not actually take the framing as its own interesting thing to dig through. Not that the game won't do that. Like, there are clearly threads that are running through it that will be well, I hope at least, be looking through that. Like, personally, I think the final case of this game, or, sorry, case 5 specifically, is gonna be about discovering who actually assassinated the Queen. Because we're establishing a lot about the way spirit channeling works. We're talking about the conditions that need to be present to be able to do something like that. Like, there's just a lot there writing on, and it is probably the inciting incident of the DC Act, or it is the reason the DC Act exists. And the game has already planted a seed of, like, maybe that's not what actually happened, and someone was looking to scapegoat lawyers so they could introduce that act. And especially given the way we've talked about the government working before, like, that wouldn't be beyond them, that they find it convenient to use a scapegoat to clamp down on the defense of criminals so they can prosecute with little oversight. But it's like, it's the difference between using that to create an interesting mystery and using that to create an interesting story. And this middle section definitely feels like it's like, but we've got to create a good mystery. Don't worry about the world building or anything like that. Well, not don't worry about it, but, like, use it specifically, but only to... Yeah, I think I'd be going around in circles now.
Yeah, there's some really cool world building in the periphery of the case thus far. Like, pretty much all of what we know about the rebels and their ideology comes from this case. Because beforehand, they were just shorthand for, like, evil.
Mm-hmm.
But, like... Yeah, I think it should materially affect the case more, like you said. Like, it should, you know... The gallery should be conflicted about it. Like, do they hate rebels, or do they hate murder? Like...
Yeah, exactly.
Do they hate rebels more than they hate murder? Do they hate murder more than they hate rebels? Like... It's...
And, like...
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, there's a very easy fix to it, and it just involves shaving away some of the mystery in exchange for deepening the world. And I feel like they were so obsessed with this game in particular having content, capital C content, like being long and being, you know, twisty, that it just loses some of that. And, like, I still think it's a fantastic game. It's still like, you know, one of my favorite Ace Attorney games, but it's definitely a bit it could have done with a bit of killing of their darlings, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't want to say that, like, the cases are too long, because I definitely think they've, like, earned that runtime in terms of the mysteries that have been presented so far. Obviously, I'm not done with the game. But I would definitely agree that they probably needed to take a step back for a moment and be like, okay, but do we, like, story-wise and other than just the literal mystery to dig through, are we actually justifying the amount of time that's going through this? Because, like, if a lot of that time is, like, reinforcing the stakes, Sadmadi doing his putrid thing, and not really, like, fuck, no, I lost it. Yeah, I still haven't quite, like, really pinpointed. Like, I can talk about the problem, but I feel like putting it into a sentence is really difficult.
Yeah, that's valid.
Well,
the good news is you'll have a couple of weeks to think about it.
Yeah, that is true, yeah. Yeah. Because don't get me wrong, I am enjoying myself, but you can probably see that I'm getting frustrated when the game is like, and to kind of talk about what Luke is talking about is like, there's a lot of diversions here to going back all the way to the end of the first half of this case, where Sadmadi just kind of concludes that the High Priest is a rebel, which you'd think which is treated somewhat as a huge deal, but, like, again, it feels like that was there to make it more complicated for Phoenix, rather than that, like... And I don't think people have really, for real, should the crowd not be a bit torn about the High Priest at this point? He was a rebel. and like, I can see...
I have some news for you, you putrid-minded lawyer.
Well, yeah,
the
exactly.
Pope is Antifa.
Like, fucking, Sadmadi is, like, spinning it, but it doesn't even feel like he needs to spin it. Like, and it doesn't seem like Sadmadi's framing is making people on board with that. It's just like, it just happens. And I'm like, no, I don't accept that they would just be kind of fine with it. Like, they'd be all just in awe of him as he's reappeared. You know, never mind the neophyte actually managed to spirit channel, like... Although the crowd did react to that. But, like, Sadmadi literally called him a rebel on the stand, and, like, I haven't seen the crowd react to that beyond the moment it was said initially.
There was that one line of, wow, he's so cool, I don't care that he's a rebel, I still like him.
I mean...
Like, that was one line from the gallery, which, again, is very ideologically confusing. Are you saying that you like him as a person despite his rebelness? Are you saying that he has amazing spiritual power despite his political affiliation? Or are you saying, hey, maybe these rebels are okay if he's one of them? It's not really clear. It's not elaborated on.
Yeah. And like, and especially when you're in simultaneously to, in this case, like, actually showing that the rebels, like, may have a point, right? In terms of, like, the DC Act needs to be undone, and, like, the rebels were actually started by a lawyer, like, a defense lawyer of all people. Like, it feels like that moment should actually be a bit of a reflection point before we get to, like, the rest of the story unraveling. But, like, and maybe I'll look at this differently in hindsight. Like, sometimes these kinds of things will, like, in the moment-to-moment seem less contiguous than they are as a whole. And I really do try and, like, keep myself kind of, like, in that headspace. But I think especially with this series, sometimes, like, the moment to moment gets on my nerves sometimes, to the point that I start taking other parts of it and being like, I don't, like, this might be contiguous, or like treating it a bit more in a moment to moment sense rather than being like, well, they could be building to something here. And I suppose part of the reason I also don't do that is because it feels like it's already dropped the ball on being able to bring those things through, but yeah. Staring intently at Case 4. Oh, good.
Hey, I love Case 4. Case 4 is one of my favorite cases in the series. I won't have any shit talked about Case 4.
Well, yeah, to be absolutely fair, I don't know when Lucas said that and to what. So that may as well be contextless, but yeah, anyway, yes, that will probably wait until next weekend to hopefully wrap up Case 3. I mean, like, I feel like we've got to get through Abbott in Me's shit, which is probably gonna, like, require either talking to Believe in Me. Also, I find it interesting they've opened the can of worms that is the spirit channeling, because, like, can we get Perez a lot in on this now? Like, I imagine they'd probably do a one and done, so, like, Maya can only channel one person, and after that she's tired, so, you know, it's not just Maya, like, we entirely replaced the Seance with Maya now, because, well, actually, I guess we obviously throw back and forth, so maybe Case 5 does have a lot more Maya, spirit channeling. She spended all her spirit juice, yeah, for real. But yeah, like, is there a reason not to try that? That seems like the next obvious place to go. But, like, we probably also need to poke... yeah, like... Oh, man. Maybe this is going to be less tragic than I thought, too. Because Perez-a-Lot either knows that his wife was involved and is covering for her. Or... But then why... Now I'm confused why Abbott in Me was killed. Like... And see, this is a really fascinating thing, because, like, as the pieces have fallen in front of me, I find a really compelling thing here of, like, I keep flip-flopping between, like, how Believe in Me, Abbott in Me, and Perez-a-Lot ended up in this situation. And it seems to be getting more complicated, but, like, I don't think the game is, like, viewing that as the... Like, I guess I'm... It would probably be a mistake to try and, like, have Phoenix think that Believe in Me is involved at this stage. Potentially. It's, like, leading it on a bit too much. But I would find it a lot more compelling if, like, Phoenix is, like, working from the end backward, where he's like, I know Believe in Me is involved, or I think Believe in Me is involved. Oh, look, a recording with a woman in it. Well, if it's not Maya, then who else? And trying to fill in the gaps there, but that is just... honestly, that is also me just going like, hey, why isn't the game on my wavelength? And I don't think that's a particularly, like, good criticism. We'll say genuinely, I think overarching narrative Spirit of Justice is really good, even if it's somewhat frustrating on a case-by-case basis, if you get what I mean. I could see that. I mean, that's definitely what I feel like. I think even in an isolated case, I find the overarching mystery interesting, but like moment to moment, I'm like, huh? Why are we focusing on that? Oh, that's a weird logical leap. Hold on, shouldn't we talk about this thing? No? Okay. It feels very, fuck, I feel like there was another game in the series that did this a bit to me. Was it Apollo Justice? Oh, no, it might have been, Dual Destinies, actually. Though I may be conflating that with the whole, like, jumping around the timeline thing. Oh, yeah, it might be Dual Destinies. Anyway, yeah, I do need to try and wrap up. But, yeah. No, like, bottom line, I am still having fun with this. But, like, I'm also having fun in, like, the critical way, where I get some, there's friction in the game, and I'm like, ooh, I want to talk about this. But it unfortunately does overlap sometimes with the game just outright frustrating me. But yeah. Yeah, anyway. So, next couple of weeks. So, this coming weekend... yeah, like I said, I'm going to like 3 concerts and a birthday in 4 days, so, there's definitely not going to be a stream, or, sorry, let me start throughout the week. Don't see why there's a reason I shouldn't be able to stream Wednesday. I think my general plan is going to be Wednesday, Friday. I might even schedule it if I get confident enough in the timing, but we'll see. Friday, I'm definitely not going to be streaming, because that's one of the nights I'm out. Saturday is probably the most tentative, and probably won't happen. Sunday, is a bit more up in the air, because I will have had some time to rest. So I'm hoping we can continue some Spirit of Justice then. And then Monday, Tuesday, like, I'm probably just gonna say, like, I have them off, and I'm probably not gonna stream. Like, I need to...
Yeah. Right.
At that point, my voice is probably gonna be wrecked, as well as my, energy levels, so, yeah. I think, like, the plan at this point is just probably Sunday. Then that following week, during the week, again, just feeling things out, hopefully Wednesday, Friday. Well, actually, not Friday, because Path of Exile 2 League coming out that weekend. And, okay, my tentative experiment for that weekend, Path of Exile 2 it takes me a bit longer to get to the end game as compared to Path of Exile 1, which I can do in one sitting. And for other reasons, for, like, you know, maybe even, like, I don't know, events or potentially, like, marathons or, like, charity streams and that. I want to give a shot to streaming 2 days back-to-back, almost exactly like I do the Path of Exile 1 League launch. So, like, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 11 hours each, and just burn through the campaign. I don't know how that will go. I'm definitely going to give myself the option of an out and say, fuck it, I'm not doing that for 2 days. I guess, and to check Mina, in case, like, for whatever reason I decide, no, I'm pulling out of that plan. Not next Sunday, or not next weekend, but the weekend after? Are you free?
So next weekend, I actually have been called in to work on Saturday to cover someone who's going to be on vacation, but
Yep.
I will be back in time for our usual stream time if you're up to doing it.
Okay.
If not, the week after, I could do my Friday, your Saturday, but not my Saturday.
Okay.
It's the Labor Day long weekend here, so I've got some plans.
Oh, yeah, no, fair enough. Okay. Yeah, because that's gonna be the first day of me doing Path of Exile 2 stuff, which is probably the day I'm definitely gonna do.
Then don't
Okay.
worry about it. We'll take a bit of a break and we'll come back when schedules align.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, that makes the decision a bit easier then, because, like, I was still a bit torn, but if it's gonna conflict like that, it's probably just straight up not gonna work that weekend, so... Yeah, okay, yeah. I'll figure out exact, like, stuff. I don't want to commit to it if, like, you know, in the week leading up to it, I'm feeling tired. Another thing I'm starting this week, because apparently I decided that this is the time to change my routine entirely. I'm gonna also be getting into Pilates with a friend of mine. So, like, a lot of shit happening in the next couple of weeks, and, like, I don't know what state I'm gonna be in, quite frankly. So yeah, we shall see what goes on. But yeah, hopefully next weekend we resume with more of this, and we'll check in closer to the date for the rest of everything. Well, actually,
Sounds
no.
good.
Yeah, it sounds like pretty set in stone for your long weekend, so I'll figure out what we're doing in case... Or I'll figure out some backups if I bail out of the Path of Exile 2 thing. Huh. Okay. I think that's everything. Oh, you know what? I may as well mention it here. I've linked the VOD channel, the YouTube VOD channel, in my Twitch now. It's not quite there yet. Not quite literally up to date. I think there's still like 2 or 3 weeks of VODs to go back up, if I remember correctly. But that is soon going to be something you can subscribe to and not have your feed, like, annihilated. In fact, probably next weekend I'll be able to do it, so we'll see where that's at. But that is a thing. Yeah, okay, that's everything. So, thank you very much for watching live or on the VODs. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a lovely day, and hope to see you all next time.
Bye, everyone.